Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could take sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks, we got a guy here named Humberto who never wears a suit, doesn't own a suit, doesn't buy suits.
Nope.
He wears shorts and tank tops to work. We tell him put some clothes on. Just today decides to wear a suit for one man and one man only. The one and only, the great Scott Jennings is in the house. How you doing?
PBD, thanks for having me back down
course.
to Lauderdale. I'm honored to be here.
It's always great having you on. So, guys, if you love this man, his book just came out. Just support him. I'm going to give a lot of we're going to talk about the book throughout the whole time as well, but we're going to put the link to the book below. If you love him, go support it. Buy the book. Let's make it a top bestseller. With that being said, let's get into the stories. A lot's going on, folks. Apparently, it's not a good idea if you're a representative or you're a senator to tell the commander-in-chief's soldiers to not listen to his orders.
Uh-oh.
And there is a name for that I think, back in the days, Rob, what did they call that name? There's a word for it, right?
Sedition.
Sedition. You don't do that. And yesterday was craziness with what people talked about. Newsom is retweeting a bunch of stuff. People are reacting to it. We'll talk about that story. We'll play the clip for you. On top of that, we got some other stories. There's this one video of Scott Jennings. We have to play this clip of talking about low IQ people. And this low IQ video turns into a very bad situation for a guy on there that tried to kind of throw Scott under the bus, and it ends up very bad for him. Again, we'll play that clip later on. Hang tight for it. There's this lady who is slowly becoming a power player in the media space. Her name is Barry White. She's been around the block for a while. She's very good at what she does. They bought her company for $150 million. She's now at CBS, and she's going on trying to recruit the best of the best. And Scott happens to be on that list. But Scott had an answer for it. Grateful for it. I'm sure he was. But I actually like what he said about it, and maybe we'll tell that story. There's a story here about the fact that, what happened with that. But anyways, aside from that, CNN's Harry Enton. This guy loves Trump. Maybe he doesn't, but his polls that he keeps showing is this guy's eventually going to go work on Trump's campaign. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of doing these polls. I have to go work for you. Harry Enton says Trump's approval rating on foreign policy has skyrocketed. Trump on Fed Chair Powell, they have such a unique relation. He always lifts him up. Yesterday, the loving quote he said about him, he says, I'd love to fire his ass, okay? Another thing he said about him, this is like a love affair between the two. He says, Trump slams Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He says he has mental problems. Like, when you want to talk dirty to somebody, that's the way you do it right before you fire them, but that's where Trump's at with Powell. Protests in Dearborn, anti-Islam activists clash with Muslim residents. Apparently, this is a guy that was just on Unusual Suspects a week or 2 weeks ago, is out there in Dearborn, straight up, not even kidding, in front of everybody. But anyways, we'll tell that clip. I'll show that clip here in a minute as well. Radical Islamist organization Muslim Brotherhood is infiltrating U.S. colleges to transform Western society from within, reports, warns. That is a New York Post story. There's another story here that says 6 in 10 young Muslims in France prefer Sharia law. Are you surprised? Let me read that one more time to you. 6 in 10 Muslims in France prefer Sharia law. Okay. Maybe coming to a city near you is what they're trying to tell you. Then we have a Bush family is making a comeback, trying to make a comeback to retake the GOP from Trump. We're going to see how they're going to do it. I do know there was an establishment party yesterday, some call it a funeral, and it was a funeral for a man named Dick Cheney, whom Christian Bale played him, I think, in the movie Vice. Have you seen that movie?
Oh,
what a great flipping movie.
He is such a good actor.
Do you remember when he won what he said in his speech?
No.
You don't remember what he said in his speech?
Was it like something
okay,
like
can you find it, Rob, on what he said in his speech? Maybe we'll play that. But anyways.
We got to stop outsourcing all our jobs to these British people.
No, but yesterday.
American jobs.
When you
H-1B thing is getting out of control.
When you see this clip of everybody that's there and two people weren't invited, okay, and why, we don't know, but maybe when we show it to you, you'll kind of have an idea what's going on over there. Political touts touts Gavin Newsom as 2028 frontrunner, but data tells a different story because California is facing a $18 billion deficit. When he came in, He had a $24 billion surplus, something like that, to $18 billion. That means you're not operating the company very well. And then you have DOJ seeks to block New California's congressional map, I think because they were doing it to Texas, and now they're doing it to them. Bill Ackman doubles down on his dating advice, folks. We have some men here who maybe have experienced dating. Some are still experiencing their mid-40s, nearly 50. Who knows, like in the next 5 years like that.
60 and 20.
And they're gonna give some commentary on whether Bill Ackman's advice is valuable advice. Bill is a lot richer. So when you're richer, you can say anything, and they're probably going to say, I'll go on a date with you.
True.
When you're poorer, you must have a better game. So we're going to have some people that are not billionaires giving you advice on dating. So we'll see. Iran suffers flash flooding after cloud seeding to combat drought. They said cloud seeding was a conspiracy theory. Iran's validating it wasn't. We had Lee Zeldin yesterday talking about this. It's pretty interesting. Maybe we'll get into it. Nicki Minaj, praised for highlighting persecution of Nigerian Christians.
Good.
Vinny's got a surprise for her.
Good job,
And
Nicki.
to the Nigerian community, we'd like to send some money over your way. And folks, you can be part of that. We'll tell you about it probably halfway through the podcast. We'll get into that. And then Elon Musk talks about the new $1 trillion package. Will eliminate poverty with what he's building, these, robots. People having AI children with their AI partners. Maybe you're interested. We'll talk about that. Trump signs bill directing Justice Department to release Epstein files. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Mamdani today is going to D.C. to meet with the president. Netflix and Fox are trying to get into the podcast game. Stephen A. Smith breaks silence on stepping away from on ESPN exit. What does that really mean anyways? And we got a few other things that we'll get into. Having said that, let me tell you what's going on so everybody knows, okay? We announced this earlier. I want to remind you again what's taking place for this month. From November 17th is where it started to December 2nd. This is the only time. We have a Black Friday deal that's going on, started early, 30% off of everything on the site except for a couple items. And we're doing a few unique things. And here's what it is. This mystery box, there's only a few of these mystery boxes left. Anybody that places an order on vtmerch.com above $500, the first 200, you're going to get a mystery box being sent to you with special items in it. But when you open it up, 10 of you are going to get a golden ticket. If you get this golden ticket and you scratch it, you get one of 10 items. One of them is $5,000 gift card to the merch store. One of them is a silver membership to our cigar lounge. One of them is 5 platinum tickets to the Vol Conference. One of them is a 15-minute call with Adam. One of them is a 15-minute call with Tom or Vinny or myself, $2,500 towards Connect, or to be in a skit with Vinny on VT Comedy. You would fly down here. You guys would literally be in a skit. You guys know Vinny runs a zoo here with a bunch of animals.
Incredible.
You would come and be in one of these skits with
Adam's
them.
one of
Now,
them.
You could be a gibbon.
Second, we always get guys. Alan said he wants to be on the podcast so bad because he wants to face against this guy.
Loser.
Bunch of guys are messaging me, telling me they want to be on the podcast. So finally, we've never done this. We said, let's do something crazy, but there's a price for it. You spend over $2,000 on vtmerch.com. You can go buy the shoes. You can go buy the recording with all the classes. Everything right now is together on vtmerch.com. You spend over $2,000 on VT Merch. You will be in a drawing. One of you guys, we will draw from the people that purchase over $2,000. You'll fly in here. We'll go to dinner. We'll do PBD podcast prep, and you'll sit exactly where Scott Jennings is sitting, and you'll do a podcast story with us, right? And we'll cover stories, and we'll ask you, what do you think? What do you think? So if you don't mind that kind of pressure, you want to have some fun with us, and you'll get a behind the stage, literally, on what happens here. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to see you very, very soon. This goes from November 17th to December 2nd. 99% of the items on vtmerch.com right now are 30% off. Go buy a bunch of products for your husband, for your wife, for your sons, for your kids. Christmas is around the corner. Do some early Christmas shopping. Save that money at vtmerch.com. Let's get right into it. Okay, so Rob, yesterday, there's these guys that thought it was a good idea. They call them senators and congressmen and women. They thought it was a good idea to tell soldiers not to have to listen to their commander-in-chief, who happens to be a guy named President Donald J. Trump. Rob, is this the video?
Yep.
Let's go and watch this video here.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear.
Is this supposed to
You
be like
can
a
refuse
patriotic song?
illegal orders.
you can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse
Must.
illegal orders.
You
no one
must.
has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is harsh and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that
Okay,
we
I'm
have
good,
your back.
Rob. If I watch any more of this, it's a
The
little bit tough to
CIA.
watch. So they do this, and then the president responds with a tweet, and here's what it says. Truth Social, it's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President Donald J. Trump. Scott, what do you think about the story here?
Well, first of all, what they're saying is complete and utter bullshit. There are no illegal orders.
I like how you're holding it back a little bit.
What
Davis.
illegal orders?
Yeah.
What has the president said or done? What order? You were in the military. Has he given an illegal order that you know of?
Not that I know of,
And they
no.
can't name one either. I was on CNN yesterday, and we had one of these clowns on, Jason Crow. Casey Hunt asked him, is there a specific order you're worried about? Well, no, we're just generally saying it out loud. The other thing they said there is vital. The threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad. They're coming from within. They said the president is a threat to the Constitution. This is the same garbage they have been peddling that has led to violence against the president, that has led to violence against ICE agents, that has led to violence against people who are operating our government right now. This rhetoric is designed to foment insurrection against the commander-in-chief and violence against the commander-in-chief. Number two, the other issue going on with the Democrats is, and we learned this in the shutdown, their base demands that they do anything and everything to throw sand in the gears of government. Let's shut down the government and keep Trump from operating. Hey, let's tell people to refuse orders so that he can't operate as commander-in-chief. It goes back to 2016. They have never believed this man is a legitimate president. That's what their base believes. And so they demand that their elected officials treat him like he's illegitimate. Telling the soldiers not to follow orders from the commander-in-chief? If I were Donald Trump, I would be outraged. He is outraged. He has every right to be outraged. This is extraordinarily irresponsible what these Democrats are doing.
Now, Newsom came out and said that the president, I don't know if you saw that, Rob, or not, but Newsom said that this sounds like a threat. Okay, and he tweeted about this, I think, yesterday. If you go a little bit lower, you'll see, okay, right there. The president of the United States just called for the death of Democratic lawmakers.
Oh, my God.
This man is sick in the head. Rob, can you go to the comment section? I just want to see how his own following is reacting to him. Telling the military of the United States of America to ignore Commander-in-Chief was a stupid political stunt. Mutiny. Someone tries to get members of the military. Okay, go to the next one. I'm just curious to know what his own audience is saying. Section 18 U.S.C. 238, activities affecting armed force generally criminalizes knowingly advising, counseling, urging any member of the United States military to disobey. Okay, $250,000 fine and 20 years in prison. So that's what Newsom is saying. Now, Stephen Miller responds to this. Perfect picture, by the way. Stephen Miller responds to this as well, and here's what he had to say. Go for it.
It is insurrection, plainly, directly, without question. And when you have one of the lawmakers on that video being unable to state in, as you say, lengthy cross-examination, a single so-called illegal order, it just proves the point. It's a general call for rebellion from the CIA and the armed services of the United States by Democrat lawmakers, saying that you have not only the right but the duty and the obligation to defy orders of the commander-in-chief, that those who carry weapons in America's name should defy their chain of command and engage in open acts of insurrection, that the CIA, the clandestine service, which isn't even legally authorized to operate in the United States, should engage in, again, acts of rebellion and insurrection. These lawmakers should honestly resign in disgrace and never return to public office again.
Now, he's saying that. What's the worst thing that can happen to these guys, Scott?
To the members?
To the members.
I mean, the Congress could censure them, I guess, but nothing will happen to them. And that's what these Democrats are betting on, is that there are really no consequences to their actions. There's no Look, what consequences were there when they shut down the government and they didn't pay the soldiers? You know, it's funny to me, they're worried about soldiers and illegal orders. They weren't so worried about paying the military for 43 days when they had the government shut down. Now they're giving them advice about illegal orders. They treat soldiers like pawns. They treat them like political pawns. That's what they are to Democrats.
What a point right there about the timing of it. You asked this after you shut down the government. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, I agree, and I'll add one thing. The illegitimacy of Donald Trump is what's all what they say. Illegitimate president, illegitimate. Really? Most presidents have to beat an opponent. He had to beat the entire media in 2016 stacked against him. He had to beat Hillary. He had to beat all of the subversion that was going on. We'll talk about sedition, the Russiagate, the Steele dossier, and all these. He had to beat all these things. And still America stood up and said, that's our guy. And he got elected in 2016. And ever since that point, at that moment, the establishment core, specifically the Democrats, had this aneurysm, and they've been living in this land of a stroked mind ever since. And so anything he says, you flip it, go the other way. It's such a simple playbook. And you saw the tweet from Gavin Newsom. Anything he says, boom, go the other way. What a sick guy. He's calling for the death of this. Ugh. It's like you have to respond with outrage and victimhood because you don't have a platform to go after. And Mark Kelly, whom, not a lot of oxygen in space, and we can see what happened when he came back.
That guy knows better. He knows better.
Yeah. And that bugs me. Because he was part of NASA. He was part of these, he had this duty and there was this pride. He was this symbol of American pride, an astronaut, and he comes back and now he's a symbol of just campaign gibberish. And that's what I categorize this as. This is campaign gibberish. This is red meat for the media who's going to pick it up and run with it. That's what I think.
Adam.
Well, at some point, the Democratic establishment, the DNC, is going to have to figure out, what do we actually stand for? Other than opposing Trump.
A new victim.
That's all they do. That's their same
Trump.
playbook. And they keep doubling down on it as if it's working.
But I mean, technically, Adam, it's technically, Scott, it's working because that's think about it. Everything Newsom, everybody's Trump. It's going to bleed into the midterms. And then for the 2028, they're going to say whoever he's going to vouch for, whoever he's going to go behind, they're going to be like, that's the same Hitler Nazi. That's all they're going to do. They're going to transfer it
at some
to the
point,
next guy.
You need to sell yourself
it is
as opposed to just trash someone else.
You
think it's actually working?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, one whole political party in this country takes it as an article of faith that Russia did steal the election.
Yep.
And now one whole political party will take it as an article of faith that the president is giving illegal orders. These people are dedicated to the creation of narratives and alternate realities to program a political party. And by the way, Democrats are authoritarian in messaging. Once the talking points go out, once the message goes out, they adopt it, they absorb it, and then they punish anyone in their party who won't go along with it. Case in point, John Fetterman, a loyal Democrat. Look at this guy. He pops his head up out of the ditch on one or two issues, and they're out here saying, we got to take him out in a primary. They are authoritarian when it comes to communications. The goal of this is to make every Democrat in the country believe that an illegal order has been given. Nobody can tell me what that is. I'll tell you what else. This is about Venezuela. They are out here protecting these narco-terrorists off the coast. I've been on panel after panel, and they're like, oh, it's illegal for the president to go after these narco-terrorists. This has something to do with these Venezuelan narco-terrorists. The Democrats are protecting them right now, and they're mad that Trump... Look, why did they go to El Salvador and try to bring an MS-13 gangbanger back to the United States? Because the dedication to foreign and illegal populations over American citizens right now is one of the beating hearts of that party.
You're talking about the Maryland father?
Yeah.
But now here's the thing.
Maryland man.
Right.
While you're talking about this, the problem for them is the following. So you say Venezuela, foreign policy. Harry Enton says Trump's approval rating on foreign policy has skyrocketed.
Yes.
What do you mean it's skyrocketed? Yeah, it's skyrocketed. And this is CNN talking about this? Yes. Watch this, folks, on Harry Enton talking about Trump's foreign policy. Go ahead, Rob.
This is one of the areas in which Donald Trump is performing significantly better than he was in term one. One of his best issues relative to term one. What are we talking about? Approval of Trump on foreign policy at this point in term one. Look, Donald Trump was just at a 35% approval rating, up like a rocket. We're talking about 43% now. That's an 8-point rise. On the net approval rating, we're talking about a double-digit rise. The American people like much more of what they're seeing from Donald Trump in foreign policy in term two than they did in term number one.
So often presidents in their second term, usually later in their second term, frankly, will turn to foreign policy. So how does President Trump compare to past presidents in their second term?
You know, this to me is one of the most interesting data points, because normally when we look at these data points, we see that Trump is doing worse than other presidents. But on this one, he is doing significantly better, because take a look here. All right, 21st century foreign policy approval rating at this point in term two. George W. Bush was down at 36%. Barack Obama was at 37%. Look at this. Donald Trump actually leads the pack at 43%. Donald Trump has a higher foreign policy approval rating at this point in a second term than any other president who served their entire second term in the 21st century. This is something I think Donald Trump really likes to look at, because the bottom line is this: presidents like to build their legacies off of foreign policy, and at this particular point, the American people like much more of what Donald Trump's doing on foreign policy than either of the two other 21st century presidents who served at
He
least
beat the cousins.
served two terms.
And they gave Obama a freaking Nobel Prize for making a speech in Germany.
You can pause. By the way, how is Harry Enton? He seems like a chill guy. Is he a chill guy?
Let me tell you the truth about Harry. He's the man. Like, Harry Enton knows more about political polling than anybody I know. He is one of the best TV guys that we or anybody else has, and he is funny as all get out. He is entertaining. Like, this is what you should be doing on cable TV. What Harry Enton does, he's one of the best things we got.
That's
going.
good. That's
Chill guy.
the impression I got from him. I'm glad you're saying this.
Amazing.
So when you see this, what's the moral authority? These guys have to come out and say, hey, you shouldn't listen to the president. You don't have to. You must not follow the orders, all this stuff. This tells a different story. How do they react to this knowing they don't have moral authority?
Well, I think what they're doing is trying to destabilize one of the best parts of the Trump presidency, which is that he has been the best foreign policy president in the modern era. I mean, he's solved 8 wars. He might be on the brink of solving Russia-Ukraine soon. He got the hostages back from the terrorists in Gaza. They were in the White House last night. And so despite all these jackals trying to drag him down, the guy out here is creating peace. I'll tell you this, in researching my book, talking to him, the man hates war. He hates the prospect and concept of people dying for no reason. He hates it. He does not think of war and peace. He thinks of peace and war. And it's peace first, and then engage if you have to second. That's the way he thinks of it. And that's what the American people want him to do. And he's doing it, and they like it. And so the Democrats have got to drag him down.
When you see numbers like this,
it's good.
It is so hard, Vinny, to argue it, right? When you see the president being at 43%. Adam, your thoughts on this story?
So here's the only analogy I can give to what's happening with Trump. Trump is Michael Jordan. He is Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. I mean, in our lifetime, has there been a more effective president? When I was younger, I wasn't an MJ guy. I was an Isaiah Thomas guy, okay? And I would, with passion, root against MJ, with passion. And then it came to the realization, oh, this is the guy. They beat the Pistons, they beat the Lakers, they beat the Celtics, they beat everybody out there. And then at some point you have to realize, wow, I was wrong about Jordan. And then you realize I'm watching greatness. That's Trump. And all they still want to do is say Obama's the man or Biden's great. This is what, and all they want to do is point out the negatives. It's like talking about MJ and being like, yeah, but he played baseball, not so good. And, it was a gambling problem. It's like, can we talk about all the wins and the championships and all the great he's done? Because you're making a living trying to basically bring down the GOAT. And anyone who has common sense, shout out to the book, realizes, nah, guys, it's not going to work. As far as foreign policy goes, I think domestically we need to, affordability is sort of like the catch-all term these days. I think people want to understand what's going on with tariffs. But foreign policy, every single foreign autocrat, dictator, president-elect respects Donald Trump. And if they didn't, they better get in line now.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you look at those two faces on that poll, who do you see? You see Barack Obama and you see President Bush. And you don't see you see President Trump there, but here's what happened. Yesterday was Dick Cheney's funeral. May he rest in peace. He's somebody's father. He's somebody's brother. He's somebody's friend. May he rest in peace. He's a very, very controversial figure in politics. Both sides have said a lot of interesting things about this guy, how vicious he was. But when you look at who was at the funeral yesterday, who wasn't invited, and who was invited but didn't show up, will kind of tell you what's going on in America today. Rob, is this kind of showing who was at the funeral?
Yeah, she gets into who's there and who's not.
Okay, go for it.
More than 1,000 people are expected to come here to the National Cathedral to pay tribute to former Vice President Dick Cheney and his decades of public service, including former President George W. Bush, who, of course, was commander-in-chief when Cheney was vice president. He will deliver remarks, and so will Cheney's daughter, former U.S. Congresswoman Liz
Rob,
Cheney.
Can you show pictures of who actually was there? There's a video of Kamala Harris. If you go to Twitter, you type in Kamala Harris and Jill Biden, and you put in Cheney. Just if you type in Cheney, Kamala Harris, you should see when they meet each other, what that interaction is like.
Rachel Maddow and Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, first of all, okay, there you go. Make it a little bit bigger if you can. I think the hip hop music they're playing in the background
may trigger the copyright.
Right there, look at that. So there is Jill, there's President Biden, there's Michael Pence. Okay, President Bush coming around with his wife.
Her hair is amazing.
Mitch McConnell hanging in there, standing up, which is great. Al Gore.
Proud of you, Mitch.
Climate change, end of the world is coming there. And then you see Kamala speaking with Jill, but doesn't shake hands with Kamala. Maybe they did later on or before that, so who knows? You know, a lot of times these stories, they get out of control. You had Rachel Maddow, who was there, and obviously the one and only, the goat of vaccinations, Anthony Fauci was there earlier there. So you see this. Who wasn't invited? President Trump wasn't invited. J.D. Vance wasn't invited. Who wasn't there? Michelle Obama wasn't there.
Ooh.
Okay.
Was Barack?
I don't think Barack was there.
Obama was not there?
No, he wasn't.
But I think Barack wasn't there. This is the one event he hasn't been to. Michelle, this is the third event she hasn't been to. I'm not trying to say anything.
Jimmy Carter funeral. I don't believe she went
Jimmy
to.
Carter funeral, the inauguration, and now this one. She's not been to any one of them. Scott, you hear stories. There's this one story from Breitbart saying the Bush family is plotting comeback to retake GOP and from Trump. What is your impression when you see something like this happening with Dick Cheney? It's his funeral. Trump and J.D. Vance are not there. Michelle and Obama. Okay, Obama should be there. Michelle not there. How do you process this yourself?
Well, the thing that jumped out at me was seeing Rachel Maddow at this funeral. I mean, when I first saw it yesterday, I thought, am I living on Earth 2? Rachel Maddow is at Dick Cheney's funeral. I mean, remember what they called Dick Cheney? Before they called Donald Trump Hitler, they were calling Dick Cheney Hitler, war criminal, needs to be in jail, and so on. All he had to do was one thing to get Rachel Maddow there. He voted against Trump in 2024. I mean, that's the thing. They hated. Oh, you vote against Trump, now we love you. That's it. And so, to me, the transparency of this is sort of disgusting. Look, this is establishment Washington. They all knew each other for years. You got to remember, Cheney was the youngest White House chief of staff under Ford. He was in the House. He was in the House leadership. He was Secretary of Defense. He was vice president for 2 terms. I mean, he's been working with these guys, for his entire life. And by the way, pretty effective bureaucratic operator. I mean, he got things done. And look, I work for these guys, okay? Worked in the Bush-Cheney White House. I worked on both campaigns. I'll tell you one thing about Dick Cheney. The man hated radical Islamic terrorists more than anything in this world. And that's pretty much what he dedicated himself to doing, killing them and stopping them from hurting Americans. And so I don't think you can ever criticize that. But this is official Washington. And the divide is, did you stand against Trump or did you go with Trump? Now, interestingly, even though Cheney was against him in 24, when a lot of Republicans weren't with Trump in 16, Cheney actually stepped up and said, no, I'm for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. And it was kind of a shot in the arm for Trump back in the 16 campaign. In fact, I think Cheney actually went to the Republican National Convention to show his support, and Bush did not.
Wow.
So he went on a little bit of a roller coaster.
Cheney voted for him and endorsed him in 16?
Yes, sir. And I will tell you this. I don't, look, his daughter, Liz Cheney, became the biggest anti-Trump person.
J6.
I don't begrudge a man for supporting his daughter. It doesn't surprise me. Would be shocked if he did otherwise. But what I find sort of just disgusting is, this guy spent his entire life as a Republican, as a conservative. He goes against Trump one time, and all of a sudden you got Rachel Maddow at your funeral. I mean, she doesn't like Dick Cheney. She has no use for Dick Cheney except to be a weapon against Donald Trump. Everything revolves around Trump.
Have you and Rachel Maddow ever had any interactions together or no?
Never met her.
You've never met her?
No.
And never spoken to each other?
No.
Okay. Interesting. When you see this happen. By the way, how much credence do you give to the story about the fact that President Bush and his family are reportedly planning to retake the Republican Party from Trump once he's out of the office, according to a recent rumor stirring that there's a plot to end the so-called Bush exile as part of the effort to take a... How much credibility do you give to a story like this?
Zero, because, look, the president or the presidential candidate controls the party. Trump's the president. He's the titular head of the party. I suspect J.D. Vance will be the next nominee. Then he'll be the titular head of the party. That's who is in charge of the party. Now, are there Bush people around who support Trump and are part of it? Absolutely, and that's fine. But the idea of an ex-president, who, by the way, has been out of public life. George W. Bush has not meddled in anything. He doesn't come out and criticize. I mean, he doesn't give speeches. Obama does. Clinton does. Jimmy Carter did his whole life. Bush retired. He's a painter. He's not involved in politics right now, so I don't give it any credence.
Well, question for you. We all remember what happened in the 2016 run-up to the election. Trump single-handedly destroyed the Bush family and the Bush family legacy with Jeb Bush on stage. It got so bad that Jeb Bush had to ask and beg people, please clap. In that debate, low energy Jeb, there was a clear fissure between the new MAGA party and the Republican Party, in my opinion. What do you recall from that when he just completely dismantled Jeb Bush and, in essence, the Bush White House legacy?
Well, my recollection of that whole year was that it wasn't just the Bush family, it was also the Clintons. So he beats, it was kind of old guard establishment politics versus new people. We're throwing out the old guard and we're going in a much different direction. And so it was bigger than that. It was just a rejection of the American people, of the political elites that we trusted led us down some bad roads, and we're going to punish them and put in new people. But you remember, he didn't just run against Jeb Bush. He ran against like 17 other people.
Of course.
And they were all politicians.
But a lot of those names, Huckabee, Scott Walker, they're almost irrelevant now. Carly Fiorina, the Bush family legacy. For Trump to take out the Bushes, the Clintons, and essentially Obama with a third term with Biden.
Yeah. He has been
the trifecta.
He has been the destroyer of political legacies. I mean, that is one of his legacies as a political actor for the last 10 years, taking out entrenched things like whether it's a political dynasty, whether it's the establishment media, whatever. The guy has, the people that were running our politics have all basically fallen to Donald Trump, not just Democrats, but Republicans too.
You know what Lee Zeldin said yesterday? He said the most interesting thing. He said, in every room the president is in, he's the alpha. In every room he's the alpha, okay? There is power in that statement. It doesn't matter if he's meeting with China, if he's meeting with billionaires, if he's meeting with people richer than him, longer experienced than him in politics, he is the alpha. And he's proven it. In 2016, he didn't fully have that. He just got lucky, 17, 18. When it fully got validated was 2024. 100%. There is no questions now. No, whatsoever. He's the guy running it. You have to either get behind him or...
Can I tell you a story from my book?
Sure, please.
I interviewed Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. I was in his office, and he has a picture of Lincoln over his desk, and I said, is that your favorite Republican president? He said, no, Teddy Roosevelt. I said, why? He goes, Donald Trump is the modern Teddy Roosevelt. You ever read about Teddy Roosevelt? He says to me, this man would just overwhelm people with his energy and the sheer force of his personality. And that is what Donald Trump does. Besson starts describing going into these meetings with people who are opposed to them on certain issues. Trump walks into the room, and 5 minutes later, he has just overwhelmed them into supporting whatever they want to do. So what you're describing, the Treasury Secretary is telling me, like, this is how we get things done. We bring people together, and Trump walks in and just sort of overwhelms people. It's what Roosevelt did. It's how he operated. You can't really replicate it. You either have it or you don't, and not very many people have it.
And Teddy Roosevelt also got shot.
Yeah.
And proceeded to give an hour-long speech after he got shot. But can I give you, sir?
Yes.
You were talking about Christian Bale.
Yes.
earlier. You talking about Cheney. He played Cheney. I think you were going to mention the speech that he gave at the Oscars, I believe is what it was.
Yes.
Do you have that clip? Is
Yeah.
that what you wanna talk
By the
about?
way, here's Christian Bale. He wins the Oscar. Here's what he had to say about a shout out, but a different kind of a shout out to Dick Cheney. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role. You know, we'll be cornering the market on charisma-free. So, what do you think? Mitch McConnell next?
Ooh.
That could be good, couldn't it? Thank you
I don't
to
like this. I don't like this. I'll be honest with you. Some British guy bitching about our republic.
While he's making money.
Do you not like it just because he's British?
Well, no, I don't like it because A, I know these people. Like, you got to understand, I know these people. B, this guy doesn't know anything about American politics.
But do you disagree that Dick Cheney, many people think he's Satan?
I agree, but back when I was working for him, those many people were the most liberal, progressive Democrats in American politics. And so...
Exactly.
Have you been in the same room with Dick Cheney?
I worked on both campaigns. I worked in the Bush-Cheney White House.
What was he like?
The caricature of it was totally wrong. He was extremely grandfatherly, almost. And I had to brief. I was political affairs. I had to brief him on campaigns. I had to brief him on what was going on in our politics. I'm just telling you, the caricature that media paints of these guys, they've done the same thing to Trump. I've been hanging around Trump. What you would think about Trump is totally different than what you get in person. The same was true of Bush. The same was true of Cheney. The media, they make caricatures.
You think the level of evil of Trump is bigger than Cheney?
No, I'm saying the caricatures that media presents of these guys is off base.
Because I would say when I think evil...
No, I don't think they're evil at all.
No, the way it's been branded, they've branded him as evil.
Yes.
You know, they're branding him as an evil guy. You know, if you watch the movie,
that's what
there's
they do.
nothing about him you're going to sit there and say, what an impressive guy.
Hollywood brands a Republican as evil. Well, there's a breaking news story. I mean, these people.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are dedicated to destroying conservatives in any form. Man, look, I'm old enough to remember looking out my window from the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue and watching people marching around saying Bush is Hitler. Now here we are, and I'm watching people marching around saying Trump is Hitler. I mean, it's the same.
How old were you when you were with Dick Cheney?
My 20s.
Okay, and what was that like for you in your 20s? While you're on the inside, you're spending time with this man, and then you're going out and how are you as a young man processing what they're saying about him versus you're in there with him on a daily basis?
I mean, it doesn't match, and I knew it, and we knew it, and I think one of the frustrations that we always had was, how do you defeat this propaganda? Like, how do you defeat these narratives? How do you defeat these caricatures? It's one of the reasons Republicans love Trump. He shows up and says, you know, we don't actually have to take this. We don't have to take this lying down. And that was, I think, one of the frustrations with old guard politicians, that they just didn't fight back hard enough to try to defeat what Hollywood or the media and anybody else was doing to the Republican Party.
There's only one Dick Cheney. Not a lot of people are compared to Satan. Everyone's Hitler these days. Can you speak to the whole concept that Dick Cheney was part of the military-industrial complex? Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
I'm listening.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's just a normal face. Gotcha. But they think that
you watch me on TV, I make faces at people. That's what I do.
No, we all look at him the same way.
Tom,
Continue your
Tom, the military-industrial complex. I don't know if he was part of Halliburton, Northrop Grumman, whatever it was.
He was the CEO and then on the board. So
okay. There's a lot of people left, right, and center who are like, well, 9/11, Dick Cheney. You've heard these stories, no?
Yeah.
Speak to that a little bit, would you?
Okay, well, here is my recollection that on 9/11 we were attacked by radical Islamic terrorists, and then the Bush-Cheney administration swung into action to protect Americans from further attacks. And that is their legacy. And at the time, the country supported it. I mean, vast majority of the country supported it. Over time, Democrats decided they didn't support it. But the overriding issue was, how do we keep radical Islamic terrorists from killing Americans? Now, Cheney goes back farther than that. He was Secretary of Defense during the first Persian Gulf War. And so is he part of the military establishment in this country? Well, yeah, he was Secretary of Defense. He was Vice President of the United States. He was in office on 9/11. Bush and Cheney were wartime leaders. So, of course, they're identified with military stuff. But their actions, in my opinion, after 9/11, I mean, you got to remember, guys, it was... I mean, it was scary. I mean, the thought that they could come in here and knock down those towers. And I mean, they were going to fly airplanes into the White House. They flew one into the Pentagon. I mean, it was a direct attack on America. And look, it's 2025, and I know it was a long time ago, but in my opinion, we do well to remember There are people out there that want to kill us, and they would do it today if they had the chance.
In a heartbeat.
But if we think about it, though, Scott, it was those Islamic terrorists came from Saudi Arabia, but then they lied, Cheney and the Bush administration, and they said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and we went there and we killed 1 million people, including a bunch of my brothers and sisters, because I'm a veteran as well with Pat. So I wouldn't call him Satan. The hardest thing watching this and watching them in church was me having to pray for him, because I prayed to God that he got right with God and Jesus Christ, because at the end, because of the damage that he did. You mentioned Halliburton. How are you doing all the defense contracts and you work for Halliburton and then you're getting paid for all those defense contracts? And 9/11, like you said, 9/11, I'm from New York, tragic thing. All the stories, there's still a bunch of unanswered questions, especially building number 7. We're not going to get into that. But to act, and by the way, he pushed techniques like waterboarding and stuff, which if you're even a known terrorist and they waterboard you, you're going to admit to anything. So they were grabbing people and saying, tell us that it was here so we could go bomb this. No. Waterboard, they admit it and they go for it. So I understand that they were, you worked for them and that you were friends. I wouldn't call them Satan, but there's a lot of damage that is done for America and for American troops. And my brothers and sisters, I was in during 9/11 and had to deal with all that nonsense afterwards. So some accountability has to be done for what he did and what he did to the country.
Well,
so,
first of all, thank you for serving.
Anytime.
Second, the accountability for decisions by politicians comes in elections. So 9/11 happened. They got reelected in 2004. But then 2008 happened, and Democrats came in. I mean, some of what you're describing was a reaction of the American people in 2008. It ushered in the Obama era. But then, of course, the reaction to Obama was Trump. And so, look, we may have difference of opinion about actions at the time, but my personal view is that the American people ultimately decide how they're going to react to the decisions that were made at the time, and they decide in the next election. Same thing will happen to Trump. In 2026, they'll vote again. In 28, we'll vote, but it'll be a reaction to the decisions that are made.
But do you agree, Scott, that once 9/11 happened, we were told, because mind you, I remember Bush on the aircraft carrier, and America,
mission accomplished.
We got to get these terrorist things. Scott, I fell for it too, but knowing that they were like, okay, Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, and we went all in, and then the dust settled, and we're like, wait a minute, wait, so they changed the name of the war to Enduring Freedom, as if we weren't going to go, wait, time out. Everybody's dead. Saddam Hussein, say what you want about him, bro. I know family members that have family in Iraq. He was the best thing for them. It's crazy to say that, but he kept everybody at bay. The moment he was gone, look at all the ISIS, everything was born, and it's been a mayhem. And then all the security, all of our spying on us and all that stuff opened up the door for them. So what?
No,
what are you going to say?
This is the frustration that I hear from people on the right. So clearly we can go to the left and the Democrats and they hate Cheney, but there's people on the right, Vinny like this, who generally are not a fan of anything the Bush administration did. And not to go off topic here, why did we go into Iraq? They said that Netanyahu the Israeli government, from what I understand, was basically saying for decades, Iran is the problem. Iran is the head of the snake. Don't go into Iraq. And the Bush-Cheney administration was like, listen, Bibi, we got this. We're going into Iraq. And then Bibi had to get up on stage and be like, look, Iraq. It's kind of like a different way around. But there's a lot of people frustrated like, Vinny, why the hell did we go into Iraq? Destabilize the Middle East? I get Afghanistan.
Let him respond.
Yeah.
Let him respond.
Well, at the time, the intelligence community was arguing to the political leadership they did have weapons of mass destruction. Now, that turned out to be largely false. But, as President Bush has long said, look, if you're the president, we just suffered 9/11, and the CIA comes in and says, this is a story. How are you going to react to it? You make decisions based on the information you have at the time. Then that doesn't necessarily, you go ahead 10, 15, 20 years and you look back on it and say, well, this was wrong, that was wrong. Here were the consequences of that. You got to live with the consequences of your decisions.
Have you ever read his book? Have you ever read President Bush's book?
No.
I think you should. It's called Decision Points. Decision Points. Yeah. Yep. If you've never read it, it's actually a good book to read.
Okay.
Because he talks about the mistakes he made and he goes to it. Like, he doesn't hold back. When we had him, I have a very complicated relationship with the president because I've spent some time with him when we brought him to the event. And, if you come into my office, I got a few things with different presidents. I got a bunch of stuff from President Trump, but I got a letter he wrote me many, many years ago. And when he brought him to the event, we couldn't record. They asked us for the recording. We gave it to him. He had to give it to the Library of Congress, but we couldn't keep it. So we had to literally hand over the chip, and then boom, we don't have the files. And you know what he openly talked about? He talked about issues he had with alcohol. He talked about one day, he's like, 8 years go by with my family, and I'm sitting there saying, what the hell am I doing? Drinking every single night. He said, I took all my alcohol, went to the bathroom, poured all of it out. And then he said, I made a difference in my life, made some changes. And then from there is when he decided to go and, becomes a governor and then president and all this other stuff. But I think in the weirdest way, Vinny, you would like him. I know this sounds weird when you sit down with the guy. You would sit there and, body language, you can kind of tell. I don't know about Dick Cheney. I don't know where, Dick Cheney. I don't have any, you can speak more on Dick Cheney than I can. I've never spent time with him. But I would read this book because to me, this man was a flawed man. Just like anybody else that at one point is like, man, I made some mistakes. He talks about exactly what you're talking about in the book.
Okay.
So I think you get the audiobook. It's actually not a big book to read.
Okay.
It's an easy book to read. I think it'll give you some perspective.
When they say tourist, does he say tourist?
Tourist.
And Vinny,
Tourist.
After you read that book, I highly encourage you to read Common Sense.
He's giving me one when we
Scott
leave.
Jennings in part 2 to
Okay,
that.
so let's go to the next story here. Next one I want to get into is kind of like what Dick Cheney's legacy is. Kind of takes us into this next part. Protests in Dearborn. Anti-Islam activist clash with Muslim residents. Okay? Page 11. So, Rob, I think you got a video of this.
I have a few.
So let me get this straight, Rob. Can you tell us what happened here? So this gentleman goes to Dearborn. These are not Muslims. They're Christians. They're Americans fighting against Islamic extremism, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe narrate a little bit about what's going on here, Rob.
Yeah, so it was led by this gentleman right here, Jake Lang. He was someone who was imprisoned for 4 years for storming the Capitol on January 6th. He put together this protest right here. It was the title of it is Americans Against Islamification. So they were protesting in Dearborn. In fact, there's a video of Jake. Here's Jake. He's rubbing bacon on the Quran in front of...
He's doing what?
He's rubbing bacon
on the Quran.
On the Quran.
Which you're asking for it here.
There's also a video of him burning the Quran. I prefer not to show that. But
so he burns the Quran.
He burned the Quran leading up to it. Then he goes to Dearborn. He starts rubbing bacon on the Quran. And then they're walking through the streets.
He's asking for it.
But bacon, quick shout out to Ocean 48 in Newport Beach. We had the greatest bacon ever, but I'm sure it's not the same quality bacon. But go ahead.
Hey, yo, guys.
He's getting attacked?
Did that Islamic guy take the bacon?
They don't eat bacon, though. Why would he take it?
I don't. It's like.
Why would you? That guy has a gun. That guy got a gun on his hip.
Does he really?
He has a gun on his hip.
In Dearborn?
In Dearborn. Did you see that? It's like United We Stand. Look at that gun. That's a Kimber.
Oh, my God.
It's like United We Stand. They're all shoot you.
Listen, but who has the bacon?
That's somebody probably ran to Denny's, Pat, and they're on the grill.
So keep going. So they're doing this in Dearborn.
Bring home the
now,
bacon.
Rob, where is this happening? Like,
This is in the streets of Dearborn.
But why is it so special that it went to specifically?
Well,
he just did America against
just real quick,
Islamification.
when we say Dearborn, just say Detroit. Dearborn is 10, 15 minutes outside of Detroit. People think of Dearborn.
I know, but Dearborn is Dearborn.
Correct, but it's
so
no. But when you're talking about
Detroit,
when you're talking
a great
about,
American city,
when you're talking about people, when they're talking about what parts of is majority Muslim, it's Dearborn. It's not
specifically.
Detroit. Yeah, specifically is Dearborn.
I'm saying it's not like it's an hour outside, 2 hours. It's
what's going on here?
15 minutes outside of Detroit.
More of the attacks during the actual protest.
Press it.
So it's later that day.
He just sprayed him.
Who is this guy?
Did they just spray you? Did they spray you? You spit on his face.
This is going to be a problem long term. I'm just telling you. This is not going to be going away. So I'll read this story and then I'll turn it over to you, Scott. Radical Islamist organization Muslim Brotherhood is infiltrating U.S. colleges to transform Western society from within, reports warn. This is page 11. And Muslim Brotherhood is halfway through its plan to transform Western society from within by covertly embedding itself in college campuses and other institutions across the U.S. The analysis published by Institute of Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy on Wednesday calls on the U.S. to designate the Islam group as a terror group in a bid to thwart its efforts to penetrate all aspects of American life. We are now 50 years into a Brotherhood 100-year plan to entrench themselves into key institutions in the U.S. and other Western societies to determine and destroy our democracy. This is not simply a political movement, but a transnational ideological project that adapts itself to Western systems while working to undermine them. The 200-page report claims to have exposed the group civilization jihad strategy, which involves influencing college campus and other educational institutions, as well as government agencies. Scott, what can you say about this story?
Well, I think that it's absolutely true that people are coming to the United States and other Western countries. I mean, look what's happening in Europe. Look what's happening in England. Look what's happening in Germany and France. But they go and they do have a goal of transforming society. They have a goal of implementing their ideologies. And it's sort of fundamentally at odds with our Western civilization that we've relied upon for thousands of years. It's the underpinning of our country for the last 250 years. Dearborn, I agree with you. This is a problem. Back in September, the mayor of Dearborn, who's Muslim, was yelling at a Christian at a city council meeting. They were naming a street after somebody. The guy goes to the city council meeting and he says, I totally disagree with this. Yeah. And the mayor says, you're not welcome here. Yep. So you got it. The mayor telling
I will put a parade the day you're no longer here.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, is that good for a mayor to be telling someone who had an opinion, you're not welcome here anymore because you have an opinion? And so, look, I write about this somewhat in the book and have been worried about it. But I do think there are groups of people out there, some are foreign and some are domestic, that fundamentally are anti-West. They're anti-Western civilization. Europe has largely succumbed to this. They've somewhat been overrun, and it's affecting their domestic politics. And so we're going to have to decide, as a society, are we going to continue on with Western civilization and what that means, or are we going to allow people to dramatically and fundamentally change our belief systems? And you look on these college campuses, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of foreign students here on visas. They're our guests. And what do they do all day? They go to class? No, they foment anti-Western protests. They foment anti-American views. And people say, oh, it's free speech. We have to allow. Well, okay, they're not citizens. We invited them here so that they can foment hatred and dissent against our own country. Frankly, I like what Rubio is doing on this. I think they're dead right on it.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you look at the data, here's what you find. Vinny, you ready for this?
Go for it.
What do you think was the Muslim population in the U.S. in 1970? Muslim population, Tom, you're good at these types of games. 1970 Muslim population,
or
number of people.
Total population, okay. Go ahead, Tom.
Total population in the U.S.
in 1970.
Yeah, what do you think it was in 1970?
Well, what are we, a nation of about 120 million at that time? I know by the 80s we were 160 million, so maybe 500,000, something like that.
I was going to say 700,000.
Probably a little less than that, actually.
150,000.
Yeah.
Holy
okay.
Is what the Muslim, and you know what it is today? 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
They have over 30x'd the last 50 years. That's very fast.
That's a lot.
So, by the way, go the next 50 years and 30x what they have today. If you 30x right now, what is the guesstimation, Rob, of what the U.S. population is going to be in 2075? I know it's a long time from now, but say 2075, 400 million?
I believe so.
Well, wait, do we have the birth rate to sustain that?
Well, we're going to get people coming in. That's what they're doing. Immigrants are coming in.
I'll tell you what Elon told me, but go ahead, yeah.
So if we're at 340 right now, birth rate is 1.58, 1.59, lowest in the history of America.
Yep.
2075, we're guesstimated to be 402 million. By the way, if it follows the same pattern, Vinny, 30x what it is today, it's 150 million of that will be Muslims. 150, because we're not having kids. And you know, the way we've structured things with women and the way they look at men and how education is shaping the mindset of a lot of young women. And yeah, it's my body, my choice. I don't want to have kids. It's about my life, selfish, girl boss, all this stuff. It's not like they want to be mothers. It's not like that's being edified in the proper way. So it means if we go, even if you do 15X is 75 million. This is going to be a very different America, the way America is going. Scott, your thoughts?
Well, A, I totally agree. B, I interviewed Elon Musk for this book, and he was sort of describing his fear about America. You've got $40 trillion debt, devaluation of the currency, a mass migration crisis, low birth rates. I mean, he sees all these things as converging. It's not just the downfall of America. I mean, we are the defenders of Western civilization in this world. It's the downfall of the West to allow yourself to get in such fiscal disrepair, to allow yourself to get in such cultural disrepair. And so, you know, I asked him, why are you here? And he said, I'm trying to find a way not to make America go bankrupt. And then he starts talking about immigration. He starts talking about the mass migration crisis. He starts talking about the birth rate. And he just sees all these macro problems converging, and it could lead to the downfall of America. That's why he got involved in the campaign. It's why he supported Trump. It's why he went to work in the government the way he did. And he was pretty put out with Washington because I said, does anybody here care about this as much as you do? And, you know, he said, no, not really. And so
Who did you interview him? What was
I interviewed him on the 101st day.
On the 101st day? Oh, wow.
And he was still there. He was on the way out.
Yeah.
I interviewed him in the White House. I could tell he was bent out of shape with what he had discovered in Washington. I did not know he and Trump were going to break over the summer, but I could tell he was pretty frustrated that he didn't find anybody in Washington who shared his level of urgency about some of these issues, particularly the fiscal issues.
So, you know, when you say, oh, I saw it coming a mile away, saw it coming, no-brainer. 10 years ago, whatever the year was, Douglas Murray, who you've had on the show, wrote a book called The War in the West. You ever read this book?
Yep.
It's alarming.
Yes.
And it said, guys, this is what you can expect over the next decade. It's happening in Europe. Get ready, America. And we were just like, nah, who reads books anymore? And he basically said, everything that you're seeing is going to happen. We've seen what's going on in London. We see Tommy Robinson. You literally cannot wear your Jewish star if you live in Paris anymore. Like, I know I was with French guys last night. They're like, I live in America now. I cannot be in France anymore. They can't be there. They've accepted Palestine. So you talk about the Muslim Brotherhood. Who is the Muslim Brotherhood? They sound like, oh, like a fraternity. Here are the countries that have banned and outlawed the Muslim Brotherhood. You ready, Scott? You know this. Egypt, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, even Russia, because they have a large Muslim. So before we get, oh, you're racist, these are Muslim countries banning this far-right extremist group. Who is the downstream of the Muslim Brotherhood? Well, look no further than ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, our friends in Hamas, the IRGC, the Taliban. This is who they are. They're telling you out loud, we're coming for you. We want to bring down the West. We want to practice Sharia law. And we're saying, yeah, come to our college campuses. Yes, Qatar, give us money like useful idiots. Rob, do you have that one image that I sent you? Tommy Robinson, they said, this is the three hands you never want joined. Marxism. Do you think there's Marxism in America these days? We have democratic socialists being elected. Islamism, Mamdani.
You got one of these
globalism.
guys that's going to the White House today.
Yeah.
Mamdani?
He's all three.
He's
Bingo.
literally all three. He's grabbing his hand.
So this is what you need to be scared of, and this is what's so it's amazing.
Tom, your
They
thoughts
could do all
on this?
that
I know,
with a
I know you have some
smile.
strong thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, this was the importance of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was going and a proponent of not only, you know, the faith and values as many of us, including me, hold dear, but he was trying to engage in debate to get students to think about why they think. You know, Peter King used to write, a really nice column about quarterbacks and football and strategy, and he said, "Here are the things I think, and here's why I think them." And it was a really marvelous exploratory into the where we get our perceptions, where we get our thoughts, and where we do it. And there was Charlie on campus trying to engage with people to get them to think about why they think things. And we need to do that. College campuses support this. You see this? So college campuses support that. Administrations support that. because at their heart, liberals, one of the beating hearts inside the liberal cause is the destruction of the American way of life. And they want to bring that down. And so they allow ends justifies the means. Islam on campus, hey, would that hurt conservatives? Would that bother Judeo-Christian ethics? Yeah, fine, do it. And that's why specifically we can look no further than those 3 college presidents that were sitting in front of Congress from Penn, MIT, and Columbia, I believe, who got called out because you weren't protecting students who happened to be Jewish, and you were allowing the in some cases riots, in some cases demonstrations, in some cases completely out of hand. And the college campuses were allowing it. But what they don't realize is that they are the useful idiots, because no one's going to come in to shake their hand and say, hey, thank you for letting us on campus. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for all this. That's not what they're going to get from these people. They are going to get, okay, now you're next. Now you do this. So wait a minute. I let you protest. I let you have your way. I let you your freedom of speech. I let you do all this against these people. Why aren't you happy with me? They don't understand that that's where the party ends. And they say, well, no. Now I'm after you. It's the same thing as the very poignant expository in Germany. And then I did nothing, and then they came for me, and there was no one for me.
Well, I mean, this leads to a story. 6 in 10 young Muslims in France prefer Sharia law. 6 in 10.
Young ones who have never experienced it, by the way.
Yeah, young ones who've never experienced it. So a major survey of Islamic community in France has found its younger generation of Muslims is far more radical than their predecessors in terms of preferring Sharia law and supporting Islamist organizations like Muslim Brotherhood. The Institut François d'Opinion Publique, a leading research political polling firm, released its this week its annual survey of attitudes amongst Muslims in France, which it had conducted every year since 1989. According to the pollster, Muslims ages 15 to 24 are more likely to abide by the hardline interpretations of the Quran and support radical groups than their elders, and indeed more than the same age cohort 36 years ago. IFOP characterized its finding as worrying and said that they undermine conventional narrative of secularization supposedly underway among French Muslims, with the result exceeding the most pessimistic estimates. Scott.
So you've had the demonization of Judeo-Christian society driving people in this direction. Simultaneously, you've had the demonization of capitalism driving people to this. In May, YouGov, survey of Americans aged 18 to 29, 62% said they hold a favorable view of socialism. So you have rising sentiments about Islamic culture, you have rising sentiments about socialism, and you have declining sentiments about Western civilization, and you have declining sentiments about capitalism. If that were to continue in the United States, you can see how this would turn out horribly. Horribly for the country.
How can the Democrats and Republicans unite on this, or is this impossible? Are they united on this one topic?
I mean, nope. I don't see Democrats doing anything to defend Western civilization right now. Nothing. I see them embracing all sorts of... I mean, look, the most popular Democrat in the country is Mamdani. Look at the data. He's like plus 50 net approval.
Yep.
They love this guy.
Yep.
An open socialist. Somebody who has openly antagonized the Jewish population of New York City. He can't even condemn the terrorists who kill people in cold blood. He's the most popular Democrat in the country. Does that sound like people who want to preserve Western civilization? No. That's where their energy is. Those kinds of candidates are the ones that are going to have success in their primaries.
Yeah, they want a revolution. The only thing I'll add to
that
this...
They love Mussolini on day one, too.
Of course. The only thing I'll add to this is this. This isn't some random country. This is France.
Yeah.
Okay? You can maybe count on one hand the countries or the civilizations responsible for freedom and democracy and liberty. United States, UK, France, maybe ancient Rome, ancient Greece. And this is the place where Sharia law is taking over. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better unless they do something about it.
Yeah, I think, if you, specifically in this area, it unfortunately, it's inevitable. Can you pull up how many Muslims do we have in public office today, from the mayoral level to representative? How many do we have? I think the number I saw was either 38 or 48. That's one of the two. If you can pull this up, how many total we have? And it's climbing, and it's not going to slow down. It's going to get more and more and more. What is the number? So we got 42 that have one elected public office in the most recent election, 42. 4 members are currently serving as representatives. Ilhan Omar the other day is giving a speech about Somalians and saying, I think she said something in the context was representing Somalia's interest in America. Somalia's interest in America. That's your job? Yeah, she's representing. Is this the one? I am here. Yeah, that's the one. Can you zoom in a little bit, Rob? My eyes are 47 years old, so if you can, I am here to protect the interests. Yeah, right there. It's a long speech, and she's speaking. If you want to play to see how she speaks from the beginning, and then
beautiful language.
If you can pause right there. So she's speaking. No. What I mean is she's speaking. I'm not.
I'm happy with what you said, though. You're good.
No. It's a beautiful language. She's speaking in her Somalian language, but what she's saying is she is representing. Rob, can you close this so I can read the quote? What she said. I'm here to protect the interests of Somalia from within the U.S. system.
Right.
She's telling you to your face, and she gets away with this? Let me get this straight. Yeah. You come to America. You either love this place and you defend this place of interest of the people in this place. I was born in Iran. I'm Armenian Assyrian. My interests are America first. What do you mean you're here to protect the interests of Somalia from within the U.S. system? No. So when you get something like this is where somebody from the outside looks within and says, they're letting them get away with it? Guys, send them. Send all your guys there. America's letting this happen. Send them.
They think we're too weak
I don't think they're wrong.
To stop it. I mean,
I don't think they're wrong.
The assumption would be that they are too weak and too stupid and too sort of culturally afraid.
Tolerant.
Of course.
Tolerant.
Too afraid.
Could you just fact check one thing? I could be wrong. Of the 42, whatever it was, how many are Republicans? How many are Democrats? My assumption.
Well, that should be easy.
Zero
math.
Republicans.
Pat, you're talking about Somalia.
Zero
you guys know
Republicans.
that St. Paul, Minneapolis, is the home of the largest Somali Muslim population in America, 90,000 strong, and they're doing prayer in public schools, praying in the middle of. I sent Rob one, which was one in Chicago, but and Pat, did you know this? That it's been revealed that Somalians in Minnesota have been using fraudulent autism Medicare claims to fund the Somali terror group Al-Shabaab, with claims rising from $3 million in 2018 to $399 million in 2023, effectively making Minnesota taxpayers the group's largest funders. I sent Rob the thing. They're doing a scam. They're using our money, and it's all going to support terrorism. Congratulations. Good for it. Good for you guys. Good job. Good job.
Rob, did you get that answer?
Pat, I'm sorry. Go to that, Rob. This is Chicago. This is a public school, a school in Chicago. Play the volume, Rob. Look at that. That's in Chicago in a school. DePaul in Chicago occupy the campus library and conduct their prayer, despite the university designating multiple prayer rooms and the mosques
But
next
Vinny,
door.
it's not that big of a deal because Al-Shabaab, they're just an offshoot of Al-Qaeda.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So like
they're watered down. They're watered down.
It's
Got it.
It's like the Somali version of Al-Qaeda, not a big
Al-Qaeda,
deal.
Al-Shabaab,
Rob, did you get that
Al-Qaeda?
answer on how many?
It says many of these winners are affiliated with the Democratic Party. It couldn't give me an actual number as to which is Democrat, which is Republican. But again, many of these winners are affiliated
Write
with
this.
the
Just ask
Democratic Party.
are any Republicans?
I asked. None are Republicans.
Zero.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So we have a problem here.
It's bad.
You know who would have hated this? Dick Cheney. I'm just telling you. If he were here right now,
He'd be hating it.
he would be swinging from the chandeliers here.
Do you mean current liberal Rachel Maddow loving Dick Cheney?
He would have hated it.
Hopefully they went to war with him.
By the
He'd
way,
bomb a different country instead of Somalia.
there's a video of families. I want to say, Rob, if you can pull this up. I think they're in London, if I'm not mistaken, celebrating. There's this Christmas tree. And look what this guy's doing. You have to see this. Tommy posted this, Tommy Robinson, if you want to play this clip. They're coming.
What are you?
Look at this.
خير إن شاء الله.
Taking pictures in front of the
خليها
Christmas
تكميل
tree.
ثم أروح إن شاء الله.
Watch
I will
this.
go إن شاء الله recite some Quran.
Watch the boldness.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين.
See the looks of faces? You can pause right there. Mocking right in front
They
of.
are not here to assimilate. They're here to dominate.
Mocking.
And Bob, I just sent you really quick. Did you guys see real fast, Pat, the Muslim migrant that entered a church in Italy and he started like if I was there, it would have been very hard for me. He's yelling and harassing elderly parishioners, wishing death upon them. Look at this. Adam.
What's interesting is he looks like a nice young kid.
Yeah,
look at the kid. It doesn't look like a.
He's in a church. Watch.
You are Christian?
Is he Pat Christian? You're Christian? Obviously, you're Christian.
What does he do?
He's watch. God willing, I hope you die before tomorrow. He's in a church in Italy.
In Arabic.
Look.
Nice to meet you.
Look at him. Look at this demon. Look at this demon.
Young kid.
Guys, they're always looking at these things hanging here. My hand started trembling because he wants to break the cross.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, how are
Have you an information to ask? This is a boat
Yes.
of the church.
You want me to pray here for this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Like you rot in the bone, you're daughter of a dog.
آخر عمري أنا تغريني.
Like they're there. Italy's Europe is cooked.
Imagine you're in Saudi Arabia, you're Christian, and you're like doing this in front of a mosque. You'll be beheaded.
Guys, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. It's going to get nasty in America.
I know.
It's going to get nasty
will.
in America. And I think the nastiness is going to be here sooner than we think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, you know how it's going to be. It's going to be, when you think about the Mongols or the street bike gangs, who were the other guys? The Hells Angels. And you think about some of these guys, the mob in New York and the Italian mob and what they were doing.
Good luck.
Let me tell you, gangs are going to make a comeback.
I believe it.
Listen to me.
I believe
I'm telling you, unfortunately, gangs are going to make a comeback. And when they do, they're going to go straight for these guys doing this in the country.
Yep.
And there's going to be an element of them where it's going to be, to
the
them,
Crusades.
they're like, wait, you want to do this? You guys have a lot to lose. We ain't got a lot to lose. Look what we're going to. I think it's going to get. I don't want it to get to that point.
I know, but
trust
you're right.
me, you don't want it.
You're right.
But I think there's going to get to a point where if you and I were 17, 18 years old, we got nothing going on in our lives. Think about like me at 17, 18.
Oh.
I mean, we got nothing going on. I got a divorced family. Let's go find each other. I think this could go very nasty. And by the way, America doesn't want that.
No. I know.
You don't want it to get to that point because there's plenty of patriots who are, maybe not the Turning Point USA type of patriots that are going to sit. They're going to be more, the Turning Point USA is more calm, nice, conservative. Good examples. There's going to be some people that are going to wake up and they're going to say, you can't do this here. Tom.
Read about the history of the Minutemen. The Minutemen were created, and I'm not going to distract here. I encourage everybody in American history, go study the Minutemen from the 1780s. And these were citizens like you and me, citizens like you and me, who are people that were ready to pick up at a minute's notice to defend a very young country from its oppressors.
Can I give one quick optimistic piece of anecdote? I would love to see Muslim friends of mine. My dad's from Detroit. I have Chaldean friends. I have Assyrian friends. I have Muslim friends. My mom's from Minneapolis, Somalia. I'm from Miami. I would love to see Muslims stand up, American flag, and say, "We love America. We love the First Amendment. We love the Constitution. We love the Bill of Rights. We do not stand for Sharia law. We left that side of the world because we did not want to have Sharia law. We love America." I would love to see that. Unfortunately, we don't see too much of that. We see more Allah, and then boom. We just can't have that in America.
It's pretty good start, prayer, Brent.
That was a good one.
Mashallah.
Let's go to the next one. Next story I want to get into is, while all of this stuff is going on, you got Nicki Minaj out of nowhere comes praising who? You ready for this?
Go for it.
Nicki Minaj praised for highlighting persecution of Nigerian Christians. And who is she applauding? The last person you would think she would applaud. The current administration of what is taking place. Did you say Nicki Minaj? Yes, I said Nicki Minaj. The rapper? Yes. Nicki Minaj is garnering praise for using her platform to shed light on the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Ahead of Minaj's scheduled at the United Nations with U.S. Ambassador UN Mike Waltz, Knox Thames, a human rights lawyer, thanked the rapper for the attention that she and other stars like Bill Maher have brought to the issue. The challenges in Nigeria have been happening for decades and they've largely been ignored, so I welcome these unsuspecting allies shining a light on this, Tham said. Rob, if you want to play this clip, here's Nicki Minaj.
In way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or a place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security.
Pause right there, Rob. Vinny, thoughts?
Well, Pat, I haven't heard of Nicki Minaj since, God knows when she started blowing up in the hip hop world. I'm so happy and so proud of her. Out of every celebrity, Scott, I haven't heard anybody, no LeBron, no Colin Kaepernick, no BLM, no nothing, okay? No nothing about these African Christians that are getting murdered. Okay, 2023, Scott, 4,100 Christians killed. Yep. That's 82% of all faith-based killings in the world. 2024, 3,100 Christians killed. January through August, Pat, of this year, 7,000 more Christians were murdered. I sent Rob a clip. I believe, Pat, this is gunmen that you don't see anything graphic. You hear the shooting. Stormed St. Mary's Catholic Church in Nigeria. They kidnapped dozens of students. Imagine this, Scott. We're in church and this happens. Go ahead, Rob. You're playing. And then boom, they're shooting outside. And boom, kidnapped 12 kids. Look at this. 2 people killed. Okay? This is what's happening. This is happening all the time, Rob. And then you can stop it, Rob. Since 2009, 185,000 people have been killed in the conflict, and 125,000 Christians. Okay, and I get it that prayers, guys. And I'm telling you right now, really, really quick, Pat. I saw this video of this witch something. She was like Satan worshiping something, Scott. She said that she was so into this world, she would see auras of people, and she said the hardest people for her to get to. I got goosebumps. She could see when people were praying over people and stuff, a blue shield. I'm not even being, I'll find the clip. She goes, we left those people alone. And even though prayers do work, me and Pat had a conversation. I do a faith-based shirt, Scott, called Faith Over Fear. So we made a Nigeria version that says, pray for Nigeria. And we have the Faith Over Fear on the back.
That's awesome.
All the prophets are going to go to Nigeria. We're looking for an actual, there's a couple of them that send to all persecuted Christians. We're finding one that's going to go directly to them. You can go to vtmerch.com, guys. It's talk. We love the prayers, but every prophet that we get, it's the shirts and the hoodies. We're going to send it to them. And Rob, could you please do me a big favor? Show the church of the pastor preaching, if you can, because these people, you want to talk about faith over fear? They know the danger is there. Look at this. Their church was blown up, and they still show up because their faith is stronger than fear. Play this real quick, Rob. They're still in church. That's faith over fear personified in real life. That's what I'm talking about. So again, guys, faith over fear. We're gonna send all the profits to a Nigerian charity to help these people because they're going through it right now. And I love Nicki Minaj, Scott, the only one saying anything. Period.
It's dangerous in the entertainment business to stand up for any kind of conservative values, any kind of Christian values. It takes a lot of courage to do it. You know what is amazing to me about this story? A lot of energy expended in this country by media and people in that world for the supposed genocide in Gaza. No energy expended. This murder statistics you just read, that is a genocide against Christians, okay? That's what's happening in Nigeria. The same, a lot of protests, a lot of news coverage, a lot of discussion about this problem in Gaza they are mad about. Nothing for these people. Why? What's the difference?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the difference. They're Christians. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't care. And so Trump and the Republicans, now Nicki, I mean, I'm glad they're bringing attention to it because you're not going to get it out of the media or the cultural, thought leader types. They're all worried about certain areas of the world, but they don't worry about this. I wonder why.
Is that weird?
In Nigeria,
so
the right people are dying, and let's just call it what it is. As far as the liberal media is concerned, the right people are dying, and that's where it goes. But also, this is a case study. Nigeria has been classically constitutionally neutral. Number one. Number two, it's actually the 10th largest oil reserves in the world, and there's a lot of companies, the usual suspects that are huge in petroleum, that have JVs getting Nigerian oil. And the Nigerian government has said, oh, these are non-state groups. Well, over the last 10 years, Nigeria has just now ticked over what percent Muslim population? 51. 51% Muslim. And the government's saying, no, these are non-state groups conducting this. And the West, the media doesn't give it attention. And the West doesn't really, has got a lot of pressures coming not to get in the hair of the government over there, because the government is the one that has the thumb down on the oil reserve exports. So the entire petroleum industry would like to keep everything chill and keep getting oil out of Nigeria. It's very simple. The media doesn't want to talk about the Christians because the right people are dying. And so this Islamic emergence, it's the largest Islamic country now on the continent of Africa, is Nigeria.
2 hours ago, breaking news. Gunmen have kidnapped 52 Catholic school students in Nigeria. This is literally happening right now. So you have gunmen breaking into a Catholic school and kidnapping 52 kids in a Catholic school in Nigeria.
This is a government saying, oh, we're neutral, and it's grown up around them, and now it's too big to ignore, and it's almost too big to stop. That's what's happened, Pat. You see this?
And
So now they're the largest Islamic country on the continent of Africa. The government wants to keep doesn't want to jump in and have to do the dirty work of sorting through this. They'd rather just they're very rich in oil and minerals. They'd rather just keep that part of it going. Oh, these are non-state groups that are in the middle of nowhere, and it's not really a genocide. Baloney. And now it's too big to ignore, and they're 50% Muslim country now.
And what do you think is going to happen to these 52 students, these Catholic kids? What do you think is going to happen to them? We need action, bro.
We've seen the things. We've seen mass graves. We've seen sites of shootings. We've seen them burned inside buildings. I don't even want to think about the potential peril that's there, but I want to think about as a government that won't stand up and do anything and go out and take care of it. The limited police actions and the limited effectiveness against these groups is horrifying.
Don't worry. We got the United Nations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they're on it. I'm sure they're on it.
You know what?
You mean the same United Nations that gets up and leaves when Bibi Netanyahu gives a speech?
I'm sure they're all over it.
Sometimes Hollywood's caricatures are correct. And in a movie done by some conservative satirist, Trey Parker, called Team America, they have Hans Bricks. And he says, and what will you do about it? We will send you a letter telling you just how upset we are.
Yeah. And that's it.
Welcome, the UN.
Well, Trump has leverage. He's threatened these guys, and he does have leverage over them, economic and other kinds of leverage. He's pretty exercised about it right now. We'll see what he wants to do, but I wouldn't wait for the rest of the world to get on it. I mean, it will be us or it will be nobody. I mean, that's the sad reality.
Yeah,
it will be us or it will be nobody. It will be us that takes care of these people killing the Christians, or it will be nobody.
He can do an energy embargo. Yeah, Exxon is huge. Shell is huge, but that's Royal Dutch. He could tell Exxon, I don't want you buying any of the oil from there. I want to shut off the funds coming to them because I need to get the government's attention so that they can take care of their people and take care of what's going on here.
So,
and that doesn't take American troops. It takes one American pen.
You know, you talked about this earlier, Scott. I'll just kind of put a ribbon on it. Nobody talks about this because we learned over the last couple of years, no Jews, no news. Christians are the most persecuted people on earth, unfortunately. They're on the verge of extinction in the Middle East because certain people in the Middle East don't want them in their country anymore. Here's a quick little thing. Lebanon used to be mostly Christian. Now it's less than a third. Syria, 14%, 1%. Jordan, 20 down to 2. Iraq, Christians are getting run out of the Middle East. And I wish it was just Nigeria that always... You see what's going on with the Druze in Syria, the Christians in Syria, with the Kurds all over the Middle East, all over the Levant, the Yazidis. Certain elements of Islamism, I'm not saying Islam, Islamism, political Islam, wants nothing but Sharia law and jihad, and Christians, for the most part, are the ones in their way. The Jews are only in their way in Israel. Christians are everywhere, all over the Middle East. Every single major city, Beirut, Damascus, Baghdad, the list goes on. They all used to be Christian cities. Now they're all Muslim cities, and they won't stop until they take over now Northern Africa and beyond.
And by the way, while we're talking about this, Mamdani, today, I think he's visiting the president. And he actually, believe it or not, respect to him, he approached the president about visiting the White House. Not the other way around. He wanted to come and visit. And then the president said what he said, communist, mayor, New York City is coming. And then Caroline Leavitt also in her press conference said, communist mayor is coming. So they're all aligned on the same page with messaging. But if you have Mamdani's clip about him coming to the White House, Rob, this is before and after. Whichever one you got, Rob, you can play. It's totally fine. Okay, we'll do this. Go ahead.
I will be heading to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump in the White House. It is customary for an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given the mutual reliance. It's more critical than ever, given the national crisis of affordability, one that New Yorkers know very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between 2 very different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable for the more than 8.5 million people who call this city home. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers. If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so.
Okay, so Scott, your thoughts. Is it going to be theatrics? Is it going to be a Zelensky type of a look, or is it going to be actually diplomatic, wanting to find a way to work together?
Well, I would hope that they would talk about ways to work together. I just have no belief that Mamdani knows what he's doing at all. The guy's never had a job. He's not qualified to manage the city of New York. And already the things he promised in the campaign, he's having to explain now, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. By the way, he spent a good chunk of his post-election time saying that one of his top priorities is if Netanyahu comes here, I'm going to arrest him if he comes to New York City. And he spent a lot of time saying, I'm not going to cooperate, and in fact, I'm going to try to impede federal law enforcement if they come here to enforce immigration law. So I kind of hope Trump sort of explains to Mamdani how the world works. Like, I'll handle the international diplomacy. I'm the president. And by the way, you're not going to stop me from enforcing existing federal laws on immigration. We haven't passed any new laws since Trump became the president. These are the laws. They're the existing laws. But Mamdani, like every other local Democrat, mayor and governor, believes that it is their responsibility to try to impede and stop the federal government and federal law enforcement from enforcing existing laws. So I hope Trump sets him straight on this. And I would love it if they could talk about things. But I'll tell you this, socialism is not the cure for affordability. I can assure you of that. Go to a socialist country and find out if they think things are affordable or good. It's not.
Look at Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, we just haven't tried it enough. I mean, that's kind of we just haven't gone all the way. I assure you, you don't want to go all the way.
Here's some good news coming out of New York. Mamdani, who hates billionaires, who wants to redistribute wealth, wants to seize the means of production, he's doing a big fundraise.
He just asked for
$3
million.
I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, he
clip.
asked for three
Hey,
more.
guys, you know I don't like money and billionaires.
I told you to stop giving, but I got to ask you to start giving
Tommy,
again.
no, he did
That's
another
what he
time. There's
said.
another one. There's a part 2 where he goes, remember I said that? By the way, it's so cringe. And
But
it's
now
so,
we need your money. Do you have that, Rob?
Don't play that. We've played it already. I mean, the audience gets it.
You
This
know
is
what?
what we're talking about.
Mamdani has seen the spreadsheet. The reason Mamdani's going to New York is one thing. His crew has said, listen, we got to find a way to play nice with the White House because we can get the money from Albany, but then we need Albany to get the money from the U.S.
right.
government. That's what's going on here. He wants to push the socialism. He's trying to get Hochul, and all of a sudden Hochul slips, hits her head in the shower, stands up and says, you know what, maybe there should be a 3% tax higher on businesses here in New York. And she needs that because she needs a bucket of money to help New York because New York's in a deficit situation. New York is going to have a hard time selling more bonds. Go Google Goldman Sachs bonds, New York State, and you'll find out that state's having a harder time selling bonds to make up its debt. So what does he have to do? He's got to go play nice with the president so that they can get money back to New York State from the taxpayers of these United States. It's that simple.
We don't have to show the clip, but he was sitting
Nothing
down.
has changed. His attitudes aren't changing. His programs aren't changing. I'm sorry.
No,
Benny.
it's all good.
Put the period on that.
No, it's all good.
Nothing's changing in his positions. He still wants to do what he said he's going to do. Believe him. Yeah. This is his team telling him go play nice and find a way to say about it. I know what I'll say. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's traditional for the incoming mayor to go visit the White House because underneath it's like otherwise he wouldn't do it because he hates all that Trump stands for. We need to understand what's really going on here.
And in an interview yesterday or the day before.
More coffee, please.
Yes. Somebody asked about the free buses, so I want New Yorkers to know that they got swindled. The interviewer says, how are you going to get the $700 million to make the buses free if the governor is not going to raise the taxes? He says, raise the corporate tax. And he goes, she said no. And this is him, quote, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it. Yeah. That's his actual words out of his mouth. So New York, congratulations, you got played.
Details.
Details. Yeah, exactly.
PBD, do you think this is a good move for Trump to meet with him? Because I actually think it's a bad move. I think, number one, he's not going to change Mamdani's stance. Mamdani's certainly not going to change Trump. But what it does do, here's my critique, it's going to legitimize and give this guy Mamdani a photo op with the leader of the free world saying yes.
Listen,
look where I'm
let me
at.
tell you.
It's kind of like when the Syrian president came in, al-Shara, legitimizing these people.
Say whatever you want to say. The guy won. Okay, you can say whatever you want to say. He beat Adams, Sliwa, and Cuomo. He won. So I don't care what anybody wants to make fun because then what is the differentiation between us saying, well, legitimate President Trump is not a legitimate president? No, this guy won the mayor and he got the votes. And he did in the biggest city in America. So guess what? Trump, deep down inside, if you notice one thing about him, he respects winners.
Yep.
And Mamdani won. Doesn't mean he agrees with them.
And
so for me, I think it's a good move that he's doing it because the way it's going to be is the following. Here's what I think is probably going to end up happening. And Scott, I want to get your commentary on this because you're more connected to this than I am. I think Trump's going to meet with them, show New Yorkers, hey, I'm even getting to the point of wanting to meet with a guy like this just so you see that New York matters to me. Then Trump is brilliant. If he ends up later on saying that he's funding something or is building a bridge or he's doing something, the only way he brokers that deal is by getting Mamdani to thank him. Mm-hmm. It's going to be thanking him. Then when he thanks him, right now, a Siena poll came out yesterday talking about the fact that Hochul is ahead against Stefanik by 20 points, even though Lee Zeldin only lost by 5.7%. Siena poll, which, depending on how much credibility you give to them, 20 points ahead of Stefanik. So I think the way Trump's going to handle this could be the reason whether Stefanik ends up or a Republican person ends up winning the governorship. in New York or not, Trump is playing strategy, in my opinion, and I think he's making a right move. My opinion, Scott.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think his interest in New York City and New York City politics is deep. I mean, he's the president of the United States. He sort of lives in Florida now, but he's a New York guy. I mean, this is his hometown. He has definite opinions about the way the city ought to be run and what's going on there and the things he's done there. So I'm not shocked that he's meeting with him, and I tend to think it's a good move. New York does need the feds. They do need Trump, and he's going to force Mamdani to admit that ultimately.
Oh, he will.
He will force him to admit it.
Either Mamdani's ego is going to get in the way, or he's going to get him to say, hey, you know, you have to give respect to the president. Without the President Trump, this would have never happened. The funding of XYZ. Wait for that in the next.
And Mamdani
we'll see if he does it.
He's a talented actor, but he has no real political experience. Trump, now he's tangling with the bear.
It's the big boy.
now we're in the big leagues, and so
We've seen a lot of world leaders on those two chairs in front of the fireplace, and Trump leans over. Accept what you think, my friend here, and he's the troller in chief, and I think he's gonna do the right thing.
Yeah.
Can I hone in on what you said, Mr. Jennings? You said he's a talented actor. What do you mean by that? Do you think he's faking it, or do you think he actually believes this stuff?
Oh, I think he is dedicated to socialism, but I think he's a showman. He is an actor. I mean, if you look at the way he ran his campaign,
he's a marketer.
He is a marketer, and that's what he's good at. I mean, he's talented in front of a camera,
No doubt.
but based on, I mean, he has no idea how to do any. I mean, I think he's dedicated to this socialism, but he has no idea what to do about anything. How are we going to fund the buses? I don't know. That's not important. We're just going to do it.
Well, nobody that subscribes to socialism doesn't an idea because it's never worked.
It's kind of an empty sort of, it's an empty.
He's got that smile, though. We got to give him the credit for the
I mean, look,
smile.
again, I am today, this afternoon, you're going to see the optics when they meet, what it's going to be like, and we'll all be tuning in. By the way, quick shout out to one of the best, great guy, great father, great quarterback of WA, and when it won the championship in college, Danny Cannell. It's your birthday
Happy
today.
birthday, Danny.
Happy birthday,
New York
Danny.
Giant. New York Giant.
And at the same time, shout out to Chris Mano. He is officially a daddy.
He's a dad.
Oh, that's
He's a
amazing.
dad.
We love
Mano,
him.
Chicken
so
nugget.
happy
Oh,
for you.
wow.
Congrats.
So great to hear from those guys.
One of the best guys in the world, man. And if you don't watch VT Sports, go watch VT Sports. We're going to put the link below.
Studs.
Danny Cannell and Chris Mano. Go tune in. They got some great commentary with VT Sports, Danny Cannell and Chris Mano. Okay, let's continue. So next story I want to get into is some of you guys, if you're watching this, you may say, look, I have pretty high IQ. I've been told you've taken some online IQ tests. Well, somebody questioned the IQ stuff with Scott Jennings, and I just want to show you this, and you tell me how you process this when it comes down to IQ. They try to almost get Scott. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and it kind of backfired. Go ahead, Rob.
Scott, you keep saying, well, he didn't do anything. There's no indication of criminality. If that's true, he should be elated that we're putting these things out.
If that's true, it is true. Can you name any evidence?
I would like to see the evidence. What I'm saying is...
You think after 10 years of public life, you wouldn't know it already?
No, I don't. That's exactly the point.
Oh, my goodness.
Scott,
this is an IQ test. Don't fail it. Come on, man.
Scott, that's
10 years Donald Trump has been in public
That's
life.
embarrassing.
Come on.
Scott, it is an IQ test. I mean, for 10 years, we haven't heard any names. So you really think that no one's involved?
No, obviously, Larry Summers was involved. Stacey Plaskett was involved. There's all kinds of people involved.
If someone was...
Just real quick, I just want to bring it back to something that just happened. I
here we
feel
go.
like I just heard Scott call into question this black man's intelligence.
Real quick, let me play
with
the race
IQ
card real
test.
quick.
That's what
I feel like I heard that. And so I just want to say something. This is what
It's
what it
ridiculous.
sounded like.
You want to make it
And
racial?
so-
Go ahead, but it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think that
By the way, we know each
there
other
is
and we're friends. I know this man. He's a smart guy, and we're having a debate. We're having a debate. Don't make it into so. We don't even know each other, but we do.
I love that.
That's true, by the way. That guy sitting next to me, I met that guy like literally 5 minutes before the show started. I don't even know who he is. I don't know what he does. The other guy, I do know. In fact, we've been on TV together before. Obviously, we don't agree on a lot of politics. He is a smart guy. He's a good guy. And we can have debates because we're adults. And this guy shows up, knows... I've met this guy for 5 minutes. He's out here calling me a racist.
Who is he? Where is he from?
Doss is his name. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know what he does. I don't know where he came from. Nobody
says
knows.
here he has a PhD in identity politics. He's a post-grad in playing the race card and one of the most vibrant uses of victim mentality we've seen on CNN ever. So that's that guy
Now,
right there.
I wouldn't say ever,
And by the
but-
way, on CNN in real life, like I know you can't say this, a regular guy would look and be like, shut your ass up. Like, that's what the kind of response that should get.
So a little
Playing
later,
the race card.
A little later
It's
in the
so
show,
weak.
So we were talking about Trump meeting with the Saudis, and he's like, I don't know why we're being buddies with these countries that treat women so terribly. I said, oh, really? I said, what country in the Middle East treats women the best?
What did he say?
And he looks at me and he goes, that isn't even my point. I said, no, you said we shouldn't be buddies with people who treat women terribly. What country should we be buddies with? Well, I just don't think that's the point. I said, it's Israel. It's okay. You can say they're the ones with the human rights in the Middle East. And the look of fear and despair and defeat on this guy's face. I put it out on my social media.
This guy right here?
This guy right here. I mean,
let's find
never
his name.
have
Let's
I
give him
walked
a shout.
somebody
Do
into
you
a
do a
trap.
Dear Abby
I want to
moment?
see this
I
clip.
love
Pull up.
intellectual posterizing.
Did you put it on your Twitter account?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's on.
Can
It's
you
on
go
Scott's
up there, Rob?
Twitter.
What am I seeing it?
I did
that.
see this one.
Oh
He
my
did.
gosh.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
he's out of his league. He literally came in, and some people have an agenda where it's like, I'm going to make everything about race. Like you felt like, by the way, he thought that was a got you moment. Like that was a moment like, Scott, you're being racist in this debate.
going,
And it's
Rob.
absolutely ridiculous.
I feel like I heard that.
Yeah, when you don't have an argument, you have to you have to play the race card. You have to.
I have to see this. I
Oh
wanna
yeah,
see which
you
one
will.
this is.
Let's see. No, keep going. That's me begging Sydney Sweeney for something. Keep going.
I beg her all the time, Scott.
Here we go. Here it is.
To me, this is when we look our weakest, when we buddy up with people who have had abhorrent records on human rights violations, particularly towards the women in their countries.
Landscape. This is a criticism of Islamic governments, is it not?
It might be.
So who in the Middle East would you say is the most progressive on women's rights and other human rights?
That's so far from my point. I don't know how we.
You said we're buddying up with people who are bad to women. Who's good to women?
My point was always.
It's Israel. We can answer it. It's Israel.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
This is when we look.
He has no idea what's going on.
No, but I'm assuming this guy probably has a degree from Columbia or something like that. Rob, can you look him
What's
up
his
to
name?
see?
Doss.
D-O-S-S? Is it D-O-S-S or?
Joshua Doss.
Can you look up what school did he go to?
Oh.
He probably went to a Berkeley or at least he speaks like he went to a school like that. Let's see where he went to.
Debate classes can come in handy.
Victim U? What is that? What's
University of
Internet personality. That's how he describes himself. Internet personality.
Yeah, but where
whenever
did
you say that, there's not much to go with it.
What school did you go to? That's
this
what
is
I
the
want to
same
know.
guy.
Somebody, and so John Cameron, TV researcher Joshua during his
the ball player?
NCAAP, NCAA Melinda Gates
That
Foundation.
looks like him.
Yeah, so it looks like.
South Dakota.
Josh has been featured in New York Times, South Dakota. Okay.
South Dakota?
Well, no, he played ball over there.
So he's the one black dude in South Dakota?
He's from
Okay,
Chicago,
gotcha.
Illinois.
He was from Chicago, Illinois.
Taft.
All right. Well, I mean, look,
He
it
did
is what
play
it is.
16 minutes against Western Illinois once, so he does have that going for him.
Perfect.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Okay. All right, let's
Well,
go to
athletes don't normally go to class. Exhibit 28.
Let's go. No, it's great that he's on there, but when you go up against somebody like Scott Jennings, you have to be ready for it.
Of
You
the
have to be ready
hundreds of
for it. You have to be
people
ready
and
for it.
intellectuals and great minds that could debate the
All right, let's go to the next one. Stephen A. Smith.
Him.
Stephen A. Smith breaks silence on shocking ESPN exit. Now, this is a man that knows how to debate. So everybody's talking about what happened with Stephen A. What's going on with him? Did something happen? Did they say they don't like the fact that he's talking too much politics? What happened with Stephen A. Smith? Here's Stephen A. responding to all the questions people have. Go for it.
The New York Post is out with an article about me, and apparently it's like breaking news or something like that. Stephen A. Smith is not on NBA Countdown. I'm kind of disappointed because that means, somebody's not watching me, and I'm used to everybody watching me. I negotiated a new deal with ESPN, new 5-year deal. That deal was negotiated between June of 2024 and March into April of 2025. I didn't want to be on the show. I negotiated coming off of it. Now, I love doing NBA Countdown, but once the Countdown show is over, I got other things to do than to be in studio watching the doubleheader and coming on at halftimes. I got other stuff that I want to do to prepare for First Take the next day, the next morning, and to do an abundance of other things that I aspire to do. Of course, I'm still there to contribute. You see me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on Monday Night Countdown for the NFL. I've been on there twice. I'll be on there a third time when the Eagles visit the Los Angeles Chargers.
By the way, he's been very vocal lately.
The New
as
York
usual.
Post is out.
I don't know if you've been watching some of the stuff he's saying. So, meaning, this was part of the contract he negotiated. It's not an exit. However, he is talking openly about politics, and it's not like he just started after he signed the contract. Bob Iger knew who he was signing because Stephen A. started talking politics when? Quite a long time ago, okay? Like the tail of 2024 is when he started really getting political. I would say somewhere around that time, maybe even earlier, when he was talking, and then he called Kamala Harris, and then the rest is history.
Election season.
Yeah, election season. So there's Stephen A. He's still with ESPN. Everything's good. Have you done stuff with Stephen A. or no?
No, about to. I'm doing his show, his radio show very soon.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a
fascinating guy.
Fascinating guy, and he's very complimentary of you.
Hello,
as well.
I said hi, Scott. He loves me.
Shut up, Benny. What was the article?
I heard some noise.
What was the article in the New York
Shut
Post?
your mouth.
Try to disseminate on him? What do with the article? What they tried to say?
They're talking.
They tried to speculate as if he was like
yes,
cancer or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, Stephen A. Smith is an absolute beast. NBA Countdown is one of a litany of shows that he does, namely First Take, NFL. He does the Monday Night Countdown. He's also spending a lot of more time in Miami. He is what I would call a verbal gangster. He puts up points with his mouth. Any show he'd be a great asset to any single show. And now he's doing his own thing politically, and he's gonna have the great Scott Jennings on soon.
All right, let me go to Vinny. Were you going to say something?
No,
Okay, I'm going to go to I'm going to go to this next
Shut
story.
your mouth,
here.
Vinny.
I'm going to go to this next story here. This next story I'm going to go to is, 2028 frontrunner, political touts to be Gavin Newsom as the candidate to run for president. Okay, frontrunner. Meanwhile, California is facing projected $18 billion deficit as Newsom's heads into his last year as governor, okay? So when you look at, Rob, is this the one with...
This is the deficit. This is a newscast reporting the deficit in California.
How fast do they get into it? Is it
Right off the bat.
Okay, go for it.
California is facing a major budget deficit next year. The California Legislative Analyst Office is predicting a budget shortfall of almost $18 billion. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen is here to explain where most of the money is being spent.
Alex, the Department of Finance says the estimate is not off, and it's something the state has been expecting leading into the next year. The state blames the deficit on a number of things like Trump administration cuts and spending on education, and says this will be a priority for the governor and the legislature in the new year.
The legislative analyst has highlighted a number of the challenges that we and the governor have underscored throughout 2025.
The challenge is a potential $18 billion deficit for the state's budget next year. In a new report, the Legislative Analyst Office predicts the shortfall will be $5 billion larger than Governor Gavin Newsom initially expected. H.D. Palmer with the Department of Finance says there are a number of factors that contribute to this number, like Proposition 98 that guarantees minimum funding for K-12 schools and community colleges. The Trump administration also has cut federal funding over the past year.
Things like record federal uncertainty, things like volatility in the stock markets, things like increasing pressures from cost and caseload in some of the state's major programs,
Rob, you can
such
pause
as
it right there.
Medi-Cal.
So obviously there's a lot of stuff that's going on over there with him, but are you in the same place that he's going to be the front runner for Democrats in 2028?
I think he might be by polling the front runner now. I do not believe he will be the nominee.
You don't think he'll be the nominee?
No.
Who do you think is going to be the nominee?
Well, I think there's two roads. One is this socialist energy in their party may lead them to nominate AOC. Or they're sort of where the Republicans were after 2012, kind of, fed up. Maybe we need an outsider. Like somebody totally outside completely totally outside the system. That's why, like Stephen A. Smith, these outside, when your party is so decimated and you have there's no real leader. Outside forces, this is what the Republicans did. Decimated. They turned to Trump. Not part of the structure, and they turned to Trump. Democrats, they got similar dynamics, but the socialist energy in their party is a real thing. And so I think those are the two roads that are most likely, in my opinion, but a long way to go.
Tom thinks it's going to be Pritzker. What do you think about that?
Well, he's going to need to. It's hard running for president. It's physically difficult. I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm being dead serious. He's gonna have to fix that.
What are you trying to say, that J.B. Pritzker isn't the epitome of a good health?
I'm just saying it's hard to run. And look, I've struggled with it in my life. I'm just telling you, it's hard to run. And but also I find him to be a clown as well. And so I mean, these guys that are just standard issue politicians. That's what he is. It's a rich kid who was kicked out of his family company. He's a standard issue politician. A billionaire. The party that says no more billionaires is going to nominate the billionaire?
He was kicked out of his family business?
No, they don't want
the Pritzkers.
They don't want him around.
Yeah, they own the Hyatt.
Have you met his cousin, Jennifer Pritzker?
Look at how like
the trends.
Wait, I mean, if you're into like models, like runway models, that's Jennifer.
What?
That's Jennifer.
By the way, actually, we're not joking. That's his cousin.
Okay. What's her story?
No, it's not her story.
Her.
What
do you mean?
Used to be a man?
It's he.
Yeah,
She was born James Nicholas Pritzker.
I call him Jimmy Boy.
She became
Jimmy Boy.
Do you want to turn the rest of America into California?
is.
Do you want to turn the rest of America into Chicago? I mean, that is the simple question one would have to ask.
The Republicans better have a good, formidable person to go up against them. They better be ready because right now, they have some work to do with thinking that Daddy Trump is going to come and solve all their problems. It's going to be a lot. They can't automatically assume it's going to be done.
I was at the Democratic National Convention last summer, and the most surreal thing, I'm sitting there up in the booth with Van Jones and the guys, and so Bernie Sanders comes out and gives this rip-roaring speech. Screw the billionaires. We're going to throw the billionaires out. And then the announcer comes on. Ladies and gentlemen, J.B. Pritzker. And then Pritzker waddles out. And I'm sitting there thinking, I thought we were going to, I guess they couldn't hoist him out of the window. Like, I guess we couldn't get him out.
It was a pretty funny moment.
I mean, literally back to back.
Did he touch it at all at the beginning or no? Did he say anything?
I don't think he.
No, he went up there and he said an actual billionaire, and he picked on Donald Trump, and he reprised the old thing about
Scott. Are you serious that you think that AOC has a better chance to be the nominee than
Mamdani
Gavin
just won.
Newsom?
Yes.
Yes.
AOC?
Yes.
When's the last time a representative was the nominee at any major
strange
party?
times, I'm telling you.
Well, I agree with
Adam,
that.
they voted for Mamdani in New York overwhelmingly.
Yeah, that's a liberal bastion in New York City.
Adam, but ready for this?
You want to throw down, buddy?
With the mainstream media and the way that they are, they're going to make him look like, brother, he is so popular in that party. And look at the resume of California. $18 billion deficit, $24 billion for homelessness. The number went up.
So what's your point? That they're going to nominate Newsom?
No, my point is, I think he's going to be the front runner. But the scary part is, people will vote. These angry white liberal women that we're seeing blowing up everywhere. It's the resentment of this, like you said, conservative, Christian, America First movement. Because at the end of the day, Scott, whoever it is, I don't care who they put because they're going to be even an outsider. Scott, think about their first order of business, especially for Gavin Newsom, is what? Open the border.
Yes.
Number one,
100%.
The invasion is coming right back.
Yes.
Okay? Even with his resume, Scott.
To this man, you listen.
Thank you. With illegals, they're going to give them all the money, Scott, and then whatever. Right now, actively, they're trying to reverse Trump's tariffs. We're kicking ass. We're making billions. Anything that is going right, they're going to reverse it, and you're going to see it happen on day one.
Who was the front runner for the Republican nomination at this point ahead of 2016?
Assumably Jeb Bush.
140 million.
So, just because you're the front runner today, I mean, people know these politicians, so the name ID is there. I'm just telling you, the energy is AOC. That's
energy,
the spiritual energy. The Godfather is Bernie, and he almost got it twice. They held him off twice.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to hold him off again.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think AOC is going to perform better than Kamala?
If there was a general election?
Yes.
No, I don't.
What?
I don't.
I think she's
And I'll tell you
she's
why.
a far better talent, don't you think?
Oh.
Sure.
Heck yeah.
Everyone's
Performative talent.
Everybody's a better talent than Kamala. Everybody. But just speaking numbers for a second, the U.S. federal budget fact check, this is about $6-7 trillion. That's what Trump is responsible for. Gavin Newsom in California is responsible for about $300 billion in California, and he's running a shortfall of $18 billion. Kamala Harris at least was an attorney general, senator, vice president. Other than having a lot of Twitter followers, ex-followers, AOC's a congresswoman in the Bronx. She's done nothing. What's her accolades? Give me her resume. What bills has she passed? Show me something AOC has done.
Show me one thing Mamdani has done.
Yep.
to tell you that would inform
Yeah,
you
but
that
there's
he
a
could
big
run New
difference
York
between
City.
there's a big difference
I'm just
between being
saying
elected to mayor or congressperson
people will
than
vote
president.
People will vote for people
on emotion.
On emotion.
You damn right.
Guys,
Democrats are ruled by emotion.
Yes.
I'm not saying she could win a national election. Democrats are ruled by emotion.
Do you mean women?
No, Democrats
I'm
in
not,
general.
I'm not
liberals.
with some people. I'm not with some people
She-
that think women shouldn't vote, but we should really reconsider how their voting tendencies.
I'm just telling you.
All right. Well,
she
we'll
knows.
see.
She knows. She knows how to reflect their energy.
Cal, she has Newsom 37, AOC 10, and Kamala Harris 6. Man, listen,
I would buy AOC. Fade Harris.
Harris is done.
buy AOC.
Right now on that,
no,
I'm
To be
buying
the
AOC.
nominee 10-1.
Oh, buddy.
Does
By the
that
way,
mean
look at the size of the cumulative wager.
$28 million?
And we're only halfway. We're only 80% of the way through 2020.
By the way, I would put my money on
Guys.
AOC at those odds.
Me too.
I would put my money at AOC at those
We've
odds.
listened to AOC in clips, in bits, in 10-second intervals, 30 seconds. You're trying to tell me you're trying to listen to AOC give an hour-and-a-half speech? My ears are going to be bleeding. I can't even listen to Kamala for 5 minutes, and AOC is
They're
more
different.
shrieky.
Yeah,
You're not the audience.
and
You're
my
not the
calculus
audience.
on
You know who's
Pittsburgh.
going to vote against AOC? Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris. They're going to be like, are you kidding me? This Bronx waitress
She's
is going to be
taking
the
over-
president.
she's taking over
No,
Schumer's
it's
spot
not
here
happening,
shortly,
guys.
too.
Listen, don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got. You know,
She's still AOC from the block.
she
I get
is.
it.
So what I'm telling you is,
Yeah.
but anyways, while you're talking about that, whether you're ready or not, folks,
Here she comes.
the Fugees.
Ready or
Rough
not?
start for the Fugees, right? Rapper Proswell Michele
Praz.
sentenced to 14 years in prison over illegal donations to Obama campaign.
Oof.
So a lot of people are asking, does this mean the guy that he gave the money to is also going to go through it? I mean, is he tied to it? Let me read it to you. Grammy Award-winning Proswell of the Fugees was sentenced on Thursday to 14 years for a case in which he was convicted of illegally funneling money of millions of dollars in foreign contributions to Obama's 2012 campaign. Proswell, 52 years old, declined to address the court before U.S. District Judge Colleen Collar Cutley sentenced him. In April 2023, a federal jury convicted him of 10 counts, including conspiracy and acting as unregistered agent of a foreign government. The trial in D.C. included testimony from actor Leonardo DiCaprio and Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Justice Department prosecutors said federal sentencing guidelines recommended a life sentence for him, whom they said betrayed his country for money and lied unapologetically and unrelentingly to carrying out his schemes. His sentence should reflect the breadth and depth of his crimes, his indifference to the risks to this country, and the magnitude of where's the magnitude? Yeah. So, anyways, this is kind of the situation he's in right now. Tom, your thoughts on this story?
Well, if I listen to the federal prosecutors, wow, Biden's in trouble. I mean, if you think about what Hunter Biden did, forget about the laptop. Just look at the foreign influence. Just look at what he did with the Ukrainian energy company. Just look at all things like this. So if this guy does this, he obviously stepped out of line. There's nobody protecting him. So it's like, what line did he step out of? You know what I mean, Pat? It's like whenever you are, it's like Bernie. Bernie was way out of line. In South Carolina, they pulled the rug out from under him and everything that he stood for. They cut off funding. They did other things. They went after him. For a guy in this position to do what he did, wow. And they come after him this way, double wow.
Tom,
this is what people that were supporting Biden and Obama did on a Monday. And this guy is, finding money, redistributing money, doing things. You're kidding me? And this guy goes to prison? I feel like I'm watching The Big Short. And at the very end of The Big Short, there's this one lonely skinny guy standing in the street. Well, actually, one guy went to jail. This guy.
He'll be gone till November.
Remember that?
But here's my question, though. So, Tom, is this not
feels like one guy?
First of all, Pat, 14 years? Like, this isn't like some rinky-dink somebody gave him $5,000, Scott, and you became the president.
Million.
This is collusion. This is a
So Hunter Biden didn't funnel foreign Ukrainian money back 10% to the big guy.
Well, my point is we were dragged. You mentioned Russian collusion earlier.
Yes.
Russia people still, I know people from California, Scott, they'll still die on that hill. Russia, he was with Russia collusion.
Yeah.
How the hell, Scott, is that guy, did Obama know? Did Obama know where this money was coming from?
I've read all the stories on this. Nobody writing the story seems to want to ask the question.
Weird.
Wait a minute. Millions of dollars went to Obama's campaign. Has someone called Obama and said,
no?
Any comment here?
No.
And you're right. We were lectured and have been lectured for years about foreign influence in elections. It turns out that it goes back a little farther than 2016.
Weird.
2012, Obama. By the way, hotly contested election. I worked for Mitt Romney. That millions of dollars, I was in Ohio. I'm just telling you, it came in handy for Obama in Ohio. I was there.
Oh, of course.
They had the money.
Wow, this is such an inconvenient truth.
Man.
Doesn't it suck?
Man,
So-
foreign influence.
What was he doing exactly? Because we're using these terms, foreign influence and
So basically,
conspiracy, unregistered
it's
agent. What was he doing
illegal.
exactly?
It's illegal for foreign money to be contributed to U.S. federal elections.
Is this the FARA Act?
And so, so you can take money from Americans, that's fine, but foreign nationals cannot contribute. And as I understand it, he was sort of funneling and packaging up and I guess laundering effectively foreign money into the campaign. Not a little, a lot.
Did they say what countries it came from? I think he's from Haiti, but
No, he's from New York, but his origin, his family's from Haiti.
Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund. The
So
government
basically-
charged that he conspired to use foreign funds were at least partly derived from Malaysia's Sovereign Wealth Fund,
which is pronounced
to influence
Patronus.
U.S. elections and government policy.
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Interesting.
Yeah, and what was their goal of getting like Obama? Like that's insane.
So what?
14.
He tried to operate as like a super PAC or a PAC and funneling money. I don't know.
One report says it was $21.6 million.
That's
another one says
That's real
65
money.
million.
That's real.
That's
real money.
It's flipping money.
Yeah.
No wonder why we
Well,
got Obama. Ugh.
He's going to be in jail for 14 years.
That's a long.
You know the song he's going to be listening to? No Woman, No Cry.
No, he's definitely gonna cry.
Well, he's
But
not going to
that's
have no
serious
women.
I
there.
thought the Saudis was no woman, no drive. I'm so confused.
Well played, sir.
Nice, Tom.
All right, Tom.
He's so quick.
Yeah, Tom, but
Killing me softly, Tom. You're
out
killing
of
me
10.
softly.
Okay, let's get some dating advice for some people.
Let's go.
Let's see what we're going to do here. So Bill Ackman, billionaire Bill Ackman, Scott, doubles down on his dating advice despite being ruthlessly mocked online. Okay? So, Rob, is this him actually doing the interview, or is it just a video talking about what?
No, he's on with Maria Bartiromo
Let's
where
hear
they
it.
talk about
So
it.
his advice, Rob, what was the line? May I see you or may I
meet you?
Okay, so I hear from many young men that they find it difficult to meet young women in public setting. In other words, the online culture has destroyed the ability to spontaneously meet strangers. As such, I thought I would share a few words that I used in my youth to meet someone that I found compelling. I would ask, may I meet you? Before engaging further in the conversation, I almost never got a no. So then he goes
notes, but-
to defend his argument. Vinny, please.
I'm taking notes. I need to.
By the way, how many DMs you think people sent from the moment he said that? May I meet you? Millions of
Everybody,
them. Like,
everybody.
stop it. Go ahead, Rob. Press play.
What do you think about this buzz that you get around your dating advice, Bill?
Well, look, I'm very happy about it, and I'm happy about it because we have a generation of people that are sitting at home on Twitter, or more likely on maybe
OnlyFans?
Instagram or whatever, and looking at people living sort of fake lives. And the reality is, human interaction is just critically important. You look at things like the population decline that we're experiencing globally, and I think you can go back to social media being a primary cause. The younger generation, the relationships, they're not having enough sex, they're not getting married, they're not moving in together, and that's the death knell for the globe, and also just happiness. I'm feel like one of the most fortunate people in the universe because I met an amazing woman 8 years ago, and very transformational in my life. And we have
Move over,
now
Dr.
our
Phil.
fourth,
I mean,
daughter, so which is really an
This
amazing
guy
thing.
is
And
in
that's
stunt
not
mode
going
right
to happen online. Okay, it's going to happen because, and actually, you have a lot of people wandering around.
So, may I meet you, Vinny?
No, that I don't like. It makes me laugh because of all people, like I'm happy he's 8-year relationship and everything. But may I meet you, Tom? Let's play that out. We're at a bar. Hi,
You two are
May
going
I
to play it
meet
out?
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, guys.
Or it's,
Go ahead.
hey,
Go ahead.
hey, you want a drink?
Okay,
you pick each other up.
You be Gavin.
Okay.
Honestly.
May I meet you? Adam.
Which one of you is most likely to pick up the other one?
I have no idea.
Probably Vinny.
Tom got the money, so I'm going to go after Tom.
Yeah, probably Vinny.
Is there a foreman involved?
Hang on. Wait a
Tom,
second.
I'm actually curious.
I'll be Kanye. May I beat you?
No.
Wow.
That's Bobby.
Oh,
but
Bobby.
let me go to you, Tom. Okay, so Bill Ackman, Tom, believe it or not, had game.
Oh, this guy?
No, Tom.
dance?
Okay,
No,
PBD.
guys. No, hang on a second,
Oh,
guys. But I'm
okay.
matching Tom.
Can we get a little Whopper?
Stop.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm putting Tom with Ackman. They're both business side, so maybe the more analytical way of approaching the game and working the numbers. By the way, you pull it up as if you're going to see a picture of Tom on the stage with his shirt off dancing. You're not going to find that, Rob.
Look at that
Tom,
Go to that. Go
Tom,
to that.
when you
Find that
were
picture of
when you
PBD with
were
shirt off.
when you were in Newport Beach, okay, hanging out reading a lot of books. What was your line?
My line in Newport Beach?
Yes.
Would you like to go to dinner? But you have to drive because the keys to my Ferrari either left them on my yacht or at the house. And I'm just wondering.
Let's go, Tom.
Actually, like
awesome.
That. You have to drive because I left my Adam. What?
Adam, what do you think?
What do you think
I say,
about the
listen,
"May I meet you"? Is this like something they teach you?
I like Tom's thing is, listen, the keys to my Uber over here if you want to just hop in. So regarding Bill Ackman, everything he says, his entire prescription is right. He's just the wrong messenger. A billionaire asking, "May I meet you?" Yeah, I'm going to meet you, buddy. You're whatever you want me to do.
Yeah.
So he's the wrong guy to give the right message. And there's a lot of great that Bill Ackman is doing. So it gives me no pleasure saying that Bill isn't right here. He's absolutely right about a generation of young people sitting at home, especially young boys, sitting isolated. This is sort of the rise of Nick Fuentes, because he's basically saying, you have no life, you're a loser, you have no money, you can't buy a house, you can't get laid. Listen to me. These broader social trends is basically what's going on.
I think really
Falling
what
birth rates.
get
Hold on,
out
Tom.
and meet people.
Exactly. He's absolutely right. But a billionaire saying, "May I meet you?"
Yeah, but he said he used this when he was younger. He's not saying that he used it 8 years ago.
Yeah.
He's saying when he was younger. Scott, what advice would you give to young men? Because he's going to tell them, don't buy a house, don't buy a house, don't buy a car, just Uber.
Can I just, let me finalize
Make
my
your point.
He's right. Get out there, talk to girls, get rejected
Give
a bunch
a
of
line.
times.
What's the
Give a
line?
line, your pickup
There's
line.
no line. That's the whole thing.
You just
The whole
talk.
thing, you just talk. How you doing? Can I get you this? Definitely don't tell me you have a Ferrari. It's better that when they're leading the Ferrari, picks up the valet, they throw you the keys, your little wink. You don't say anything. You greet them. You give your little. You get your.
where do you live? Is it a good pickup line? Where do you live?
Saying, there's
Adam,
no
Vinny,
line.
what would you
just
say?
have swag and
Adam
you say
doesn't
hello.
He says he doesn't say
That's it.
anything. You don't say anything. You don't go up to her and like,
No,
can you break 100?
I'm saying you say something. But you don't line.
Okay.
Here's a Ferrari.
Can I ask you?
May I
I'm
meet you?
Adam is.
Hey, listen.
Let me hear it.
Adam's-
Let me hear
Meet
Vinny.
me at 8 o'clock. Be ready.
Adam's a
Let me
good
hear
point
Vinny.
because we all know, like
yeah.
Scott, you don't know, but we know how Adam is, and I agree with Adam in the sense that it's not a line; it's your vibe, it's your conversation.
Yes.
It's making them feel
Yes.
comfortable. It's making them laugh, guys. There's 5 senses. The one main sense I think is the sense of humor. I can't tell you how many gorgeous girls are out there. I'm talking about tens with a guy, and you're like, why the hell? She's like, he makes me laugh. That's it. They love that.
True.
So personality, engaging with them. There's no. I mean, that line is actually really,
The
really
one
good.
thing you can't be to a woman, the one thing is boring.
No.
You know the song, girls just want to have fun? That's all they want. They want to have a good time. They want to have fun.
Scott.
Oh, I think it's very simple for me. I would just say, are you interested in having a revolution of common sense?
Nice.
Because
Shout out to the book right there.
Because
Maybe.
I wrote a book about it. I mean,
I'm an author.
Look, I'm a celebrated author. I have many leather-bound books.
Anchorman.
I think
Is that Black Panther?
I just think it's
Sex Panther?
I think it's 50% of the time it works
Every time. That's right, Scott Jennings.
I think it's just you either exude confidence or you don't.
Correct.
Yes.
So when you're a billionaire, it's easy to exude confidence.
Bingo.
Now, he said it when he was younger, but I think it's more physical.
Mm-hmm.
If you exude some amount of confidence in your approach, you can succeed. And I also think that there's little competition because I think most people don't have the confidence to do it.
Correct.
And so women aren't being approached, and so they're waiting to be.
Vinny,
And so
what are you doing, buddy?
He said, "Put out the vibe." I want girls to watch.
Put your nipple away, bro.
I was putting out the
We
vibe.
get it,
Scott
you
was
work
right.
out.
Girls like the vibe.
But yeah, he's
This is
absolutely right.
unbelievable.
Confidence
Put those
what
away.
leads to confidence. BB, that's like asking you, what's the key to sales? The initial key to sales is get out there and not make a sale, fall on your face, get hung up on. Then the next time, life's
Knock
gonna
on
be
doors.
okay.
Knock on
there
doors.
you go.
Well, if you're not going to do it, you
What
might
is
go to
it?
jail.
Yeah, what was
So
your- what was your line?
I saw a list the other day. I don't remember all of it, but it was 5 things women are attracted to. One, I think sense of humor was 2, hygiene was 5, and
Height.
sense of humor, hygiene was 5, and there was a couple other things on that list as well. But look, I mean, the reality of it is numbers game is numbers game. I love the fact that guys like him and Galloway, what's his name? Scott Galloway, are talking about the challenges young men are facing.
sure.
And I think we need to talk about this more often. I think this is a good thing that they're talking about it more often because they need direction. There's a lot of guys that are stuck to the screen and that's all they're doing and they're not getting out there doing their part. And so this is good that we're having this conversation. All right, let's do one last story before we wrap up. What story have we not hit that we should hit? Rob, is there one that we haven't hit? That
Epstein.
Oh, okay. Let's do Epstein. Okay. Trump signs bill directing Justice Department to release the Epstein file. We already know that. That was on Tuesday. And then a lot of weird stories came out. Bill Gates loved Jeffrey Epstein and only stopped talking to Predator because wife Melinda Gates banned him from doing so. That's the Daily Mail story. And then shameless Democrat squirms as she grilled by CNN about texting Jeffrey Epstein during Trump hearing. That was the most uncomfortable one when she came out and gave the argument. Is this the one where she is?
Plaskett.
Yeah, she was the one that was, while we've seen this video, in the middle of the hearing, Epstein's texting him and he's saying, hurry up, my time's coming up, what's next? And then this was her response.
Stop chewing gum.
Go ahead, Rob.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a real friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. Sure. And I think that that's what we as American people should do is move forward.
And stop asking me.
If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can.
Oh, so she had a pedophile informant texting her.
So Scott,
okay, got it.
Wasn't getting
Got it.
information. Epstein was texting her what to say, and he was programming her. This wasn't an information gathering. This was, you say this, and then she says it in the middle of a congressional hearing. My favorite part of this, by the way, is they sent the highest IQ Democrat they could find, Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, God.
To
Did you see that?
try to regain the narrative. So they sent her to the House floor to say, well, Republicans took money from Jeffrey Epstein. And she starts reading off the list. And it turns out it was actually a different Jeffrey Epstein. Dr. Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeff
and then they
Epstein,
put
yeah.
Crockett on CNN to try to explain it.
It was the most embarrassing explanation I've seen in my life.
Crazy.
I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein. But I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, my.
Oh, sure.
I just said it was a Jeffrey Epstein.
Of course. By the way,
Even Caitlin Collins, who's normally something of a wind-up doll, she was even. You see her there, like, why am I doing this segment?
The
Why am
reason,
I
by the
talking
way,
about it?
Crockett was sent out to do this. By the way, she's the smartest person they could find. So they sent her to do this. And the reason is this, because they are desperate to make this a story about Trump and Epstein. And the only thing we found out in the last week is that it's a story about Democrats and Epstein.
Correct.
You got Larry Summers asking for dating advice from Epstein. You got Hakeem Jeffries
While
trying
married.
to raise
Bill
money from
Ackman.
Epstein. You got Plaskett being programmed by Epstein. They lost the narrative, so they sent out their smartest
IQ.
person, Jasmine Crockett, to try to reset the narrative, and it blew up in their face. They may regret going down this road. We'll
By the
see.
way, does anybody believe
What's
that
this, Vinny?
This is her. She said stripping a black woman over Epstein text is outrage. This is her outrage. Like, try to pay attention to this. Go ahead.
sorry, but like we don't have ethical like rules that say that you can't receive text messages or you can't respond to text messages, especially if somebody has a certain record and you can't do it in committee. We all be sitting on our phones, and yes, people be texting. I mean, our staff texts us. Like everybody texts us. Like people. I remember when I had the bleach blonde situation. You know who was texting me? My pastor. Okay, so like let me be clear. There is no ethical violation, and so the idea or the audacity to decide that you want to strip a black woman of her committee assignment
because you know why
she was texting.
Rob, you can pause it. She knows how to look at you in her face, spin, lie, get away with it, and make it seem like nothing happened.
Oh,
she is phenomenal. She's got a career in politics.
She's Texas AOC.
She's thinking of running for the Senate in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Democrats have this guy named Tallarico they want to run. I'm telling you right now, she gets in the primary in Texas, she will win. It will not
in
be
the
close.
Saying
Yes. Now, I'm not saying.
Cornyn's?
I'm saying in the primary. Yeah, this is the Cornyn seat.
Because is he stepping
But this
down?
guy right here, that's who they want.
Who's this?
He's slick, by the way.
This guy, yeah.
But she is
He's a
thinking of running.
Democrat?
Yep, she's thinking of running.
He's good. I've seen him
He's slick.
debate and talk. He speaks very well.
Yeah, but Crockett has said she may do it, and if she gets in, this guy's
You
dead.
think you think she'll beat him?
Oh yeah, like a drum.
Good drum.
Oh,
Wow.
Beat it like a drum.
I'm just telling you where the energy. I'm trying to explain to you guys. They don't want that. They want Crockett.
But also, the
hear-
spreadsheet
Scott-
of Texas politics says it would. I know Tarrant County, and I also know Houston. I've seen it. We dug into it. We did a election night thing here, and I'll tell you the dynamic of the vote in Texas, if she's up against him, when you look at the way the Dems voted in Houston and Dallas, this guy's done. And I don't even bring up Austin because she will carry Austin easily. And when you step back, there will be a two-sided barbell. He will get these and she will get these, and she will have just enough more because that's the demographics and dynamics of Texas politics on the Democrat side. I believe Scott is absolutely correct, and the spreadsheet shows it. We can be emotional about it. We could say, oh, no, but the spreadsheet in Texas and how those groups are going to respond, she's going to win.
Real quick before we go too deep on Texas, we're talking about Epstein here, right?
Yes.
So let's circle back to Epstein.
Adam, thank you.
Okay,
Scott, I want to know.
So what she said.
We talked about it last time I was here.
Exactly. Jeffrey Epstein donated. That's like me saying, hey guys, breaking news. I beat LeBron James in basketball. Oh, dude, I'm not talking about that LeBron James.
It's a different LeBron.
I'm talking about his kid.
Yeah, why would you think that? Yeah.
Then why would you even bring it up?
No, she knows about that. She knows what
so
she's doing.
She knows better.
And he made a good point. But Scott, just really quickly, I know we're about to end, and I definitely want to find out what's actually in the book because I'm going to try to read it, even though I
want to find out what's in the Epstein documents, Vinny.
So Scott, this Epstein thing to me is one of the biggest blunders of the Trump administration. Meaning, he's kicking butt on all other aspects, and he didn't run on it. Pat made a great point a long time ago. It wasn't on his campaign promises. Yes, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, all the podcasts, all that stuff leading up to it.
Yeah.
But if you just look, Scott, because I'm telling you right now, as a guy that's seeing everything, I know you are too, it's messing up all the positive that's happening. Because I'm going to go just a really quick, fast timeline, just to see how ridiculous this is. First, the Epstein files were sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. Then they had that Epstein binder photo op, which was horrible with the influencers. They didn't do anything.
Yep.
Then the FBI hit the files. Then Elon comes out and says that Trump's name is on the list. Then they claim the files didn't exist. Then Bondi got caught on camera saying that there were thousands of videos of Epstein with children. Then they said the files don't exist. Then Trump said that it was a Democratic hoax. Then Kash Patel said that there was nothing else to see and that Epstein trafficked all the girls to himself. Then Trump basically said, you're not MAGA if you keep talking about the files. Then Ghislaine Maxwell has an interview. She's released. She's given a puppy. She's in like lower detention center. Then Congress says the files do exist. Then Trump says he wants the files released and that they are real. And now that they're saying that it's a threat to national security and they're holding it back. Can't they see what they're doing is ruining that movement? Because everybody's saying, Trump ran on just transparency and he wanted to no more BS. We're going to hold everybody accountable. And it seems like they dropped the ball pretty damn hard on this.
It's been a roller coaster. They're going to release something.
Mm-hmm.
There may be competing federal laws about releasing documents with people's names in them that weren't charged with crimes. I don't know how they're going to synthesize that because I'm sure there are people's names in here that didn't do anything.
Yep.
But I think they finally landed in a spot. It'll be okay. Here's what I think Trump been out of shape about. The word hoax. The hoax was that the Democrats were claiming Trump had something to do with Epstein's wrongdoing. And he did engage in wrongdoing, obviously. But that was the narrative. Like, oh, Trump had something to do with it. He had something to do with it. And Trump, I think, was so angry that was the narrative out there that he kind of dug in on it. And then he sees Republicans, like, trying to help him. And he's mad about that, too. And so, I think he was, and to him, all of that was a distraction from all the other good things that they were doing. So he finally lands on, okay, fine, release it. I guess they're going to do it within 30 days. Mm-hmm. What is going to come out? I have no idea. I don't know whether it's going to be 1 page or a billion. I have no idea what will actually come out. Mm-hmm. But I know this. Everything that we know in the last 2 weeks is that Epstein was far more tied in with Democrats. Donald Trump got rid of Epstein. He excommunicated Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure the Democrats ever really got rid of the guy.
What do you say? Is the dog that won't bark? Was that whole line?
Well, yeah, well, as soon as he found out Ghislaine Maxwell was, basically poaching girls from Mar-a-Lago, he got him out. But I mean, like, Scott, do you think because this is where I'm from, because I've been ride or die with Trump from 16. I was in Los Angeles. I was getting punched in the head because I had a red hat that wasn't even a Make America Great Again hat. I've lost friends. I've lost family members. When it comes to this, like, we want somebody, people like me, and I know there's a lot of us out there, somebody has to go to jail, Scott. Like, because at the end of the day, whoever you work for, MI6, CIA, Mossad, these girls, these victims, and my heart goes out to them. And one of them was just on Cuomo, and she was like, I can't say because of my family. All she has to do is get protection and come in front of camera. I'm not suicidal. This is the main person, because who are these main bigwigs? There has to be one. All right, we always hear, allegedly, Bill Clinton. That's the biggest name I keep hearing. Bill Clinton. How many times did Mark Middleton sign him on to the White House, Rob? Was it 11 times? He came with younger girls. Epstein kept bringing these girls. And then Mark Middleton, the guy that basically brought him onto the White House, he mysteriously shot himself in the chest hanging from a tree, and the shotgun's gone. Somebody has to go down.
Suicide.
And we always get into this, Scott. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall. If we're built on that type of blackmail, imagine the decisions that were made from our government on outside entities to do foreign policy, for policies here, all of our money. It's a dangerous thing, but we want answers. Give me one famous elite that one of the girls could be like, that's the guy. I was 14 and that's him. That's what we want.
Yeah, so the victims have been meeting with members of Congress. I think they testified in some committee. And so my concern has been that we've seen a number of press conferences where things have been discussed. But to your point, no one ever stepped in front of a microphone and said, here are the 1 to 5 people that everybody has consistently said was there. Now, I understand why the victims might not be able to do that, because they could be open, I guess, to legal action. Maybe if they could get sued, it could be bad.
Or suicide.
But these congressmen who have been told, I'm not quite sure why they can't. Exactly. To be honest, I sort of want them to just say, well, look, here's what we've been told.
Yep.
And if you do it on the House floor, you get a lot of protections.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. You could. I'm just saying.
Can I validate what Vinny's saying and then tell you where I disagree with you? I'm agreeing with you everything on Epstein. Accountability, we want it out there. The Democrats clearly were more in bed, wink, wink, with Epstein than Trump ever was whatsoever. The challenge that I'm having with you is you actually think that it's ruining the MAGA movement. It's not.
I bet you it is.
I bet you it's not.
It's not.
Because I'm going to give you numbers and you're going to give me emotions.
Okay, go. Go.
Trump's rating when he got elected amongst Republicans was what number? Amongst Republicans.
Say it one more time.
Trump's approval rating amongst Republicans when he got elected.
50.
Amongst Republicans?
82%.
87%.
Okay.
87% when he got elected.
Yeah.
You're saying it's splintering, it's fracturing. What is it right now?
Trump's approval rating?
Yes.
90.
No, it's 82.
Okay.
So it's gone 5 points.
This is
lower.
Okay.
So hear me out. If you want to say the sky is falling, that's not true. If you want to say he's losing some support, I'll give you that. But don't give me this boy who cried wolf, boy who cried Epstein, that he's losing his pull and his sway and his bully pulpit in the Republican Party. Trump is the Republican standard bearer.
Adam, but I'm telling you right now.
Trump is the Republican standard bearer. No matter what Thomas Massie says, Ro Khanna says, Marjorie Taylor Greene, irrelevant. They're all losers compared to Trump.
He's not running in
So if he goes down
2028,
to
Adam.
60%, 50%, 40%, I'll validate what you're saying.
He's not running.
Right now.
He's not running.
I'm saying right now, forget about running. Right now.
Okay,
You're saying, you're making it seem like his approval rating amongst Republicans is 10, 20, 30%. And went from 87 to 82. And that's not all because of Epstein. A lot of that has to do with domestic policy, affordability, maybe foreign policy. So stop it with the boy that cried Epstein, that it's ruining Trump's presidency. Trump's the man.
I will say
that's
this.
his presidency.
I will say this, okay? I think if you live on Twitter, it is. It is on Twitter, okay? Because Twitter is its own community.
Yeah,
like, you know,
I don't live on Twitter.
But I get it. But you know, when you're running for office, you know, you're a Democrat, you have to go get who? You get the unions, teachers' unions. Then you go get the Teamsters. And you got to go talk to Sean O'Brien. And you got to go to, you know, African-American votes and the NAACP and all this. Twitter is one of those 50 things you got to win. Sure. And Twitter is growing up, you know, and a part of that for me where it goes back to, Vinny, what you said is, I think because this is the part you have to be also very careful. So you ever seen the movie Mobster? We watch it together. The story of Ben Siegel. Maybe we watch it together. The story of all the OGs when the family was built and these both Joes were killed, the leaders, Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Frank Costello, the whole story of all of them, right? The moment a boss is coming to an end, everybody is fighting to see who's going to be the new boss.
Mm-hmm.
And the model is typically what? You're either closest to him and he gives you the job, or you got to take him out. Politics is transactional. It's a very nasty business. When they need your endorsement on Twitter, you're the greatest of all time. When they no longer need you, they got to kill you. So I think right now, Trump, for some of these guys, they're having to position themselves ahead of other people because maybe they have their own political aspirations for 2028 because they know he's not running, and they're coming in. Look at what Kamala is doing.
Yeah.
Kamala's throwing who under the bus in her book?
Joe Biden.
Who else? Newsom. Who else?
Everybody.
Everybody. Why? She's not done. She still wants to run in 2028, right?
Yes.
So to me, a lot of these players today, when you watch them, you know, I'm no longer in the insurance company. I'm a consultant for them. But I'm also watching how some of them are lobbying, well, you know, Patrick this, well, you know, Patrick that, and some, no, man, Patrick this and Patrick that. So it's, and hopefully if you had them good, they have your back. But regardless, you're going to have some people that the business model is to cut them. I have a guy that no matter every chance he gets to go talk to the company that bought us, it's all negative. But that's not Trump said something about 9 weeks ago. He said, look, no matter what, it's at a point right now that no matter what I do, there's going to be some people that are going to forget how much I helped them. That's just part of the job. You got to accept it. I think there's some people that are opportunistic right now, and we're going to know in 2028 why they are going after Trump the way they are right now, but it'll take 3 years to find out. My opinion. I think in 3 years you're going to be like, oh, now I get it. He was running.
Yeah.
He was doing this. And one of the ways is to distance yourself. So when they come up and then, you know, you may be lobbying for a job. You may be lobbying for a position. You may be lobbying for something like, look at what Lyndon Johnson and John F. Kennedy. What ended up happening? He had to get Lyndon. Why did he get Lyndon? Because Lyndon had the Texas boys that John F. Kennedy thought he needed, and he went and got them. He's like, Lyndon's like, who the F are you? I'm the president. You should be my VP. Lyndon's like, you think you're anything special? You freaking Irish boy, you know, the Catholic, all this stuff. He kind of looked down at them, right? I think there's something going on right now that people are lobbying for politics, for power, for influence. Some of it is temporary, but in 3 years, you're going to find out who's legit, who's not. The motive, sometimes it takes 3, 5, 10 years to fully realize, and you got to be patient. That takes a minute. I'll give you the final thoughts. We'll go to the book, and then we'll wrap up.
Well, we'll see what comes out. I mean, I think no matter what comes out, there's going to be a group that won't accept that everything ever came out. I mean, and obviously some people got away with something. I'm with you. If powerful people got away with things and we can discover that in here, that would be a good outcome. The victims have been treated terribly. It's a political football. I hate that. Mm-hmm. But I just got to tell you, Democrats didn't care about this for years. Mm-hmm. They had this on. They ran the Justice Department for 4 years. But when it became convenient to try to make it about Trump and to try to use it as a weapon against Trump, then it became a big deal for them. That's why Trump was so agitated about this. These Democrats didn't care about this until 5 minutes ago. And then you have a few Republicans seemingly joining with them. One of them is Massey, who he hates, by the way. And he sees him on TV with Ro Khanna going after him, all this Epstein stuff. You can see how politically agitating this would be to the president. But he signed it. It's going to come out. We'll see what they give us. But I'm with you. I'd love to hear a name.
Give me one.
One name. Give me something.
Yep.
I'd love to hear one.
I think you're going to get it.
I do too.
I think you're going to get it, Vinny. I'm telling you. I think you're going to get it.
I pray so.
And maybe it took too long, but you'll get it. I agree.
I think you're going to get it. Scott, book, Common Sense. Can you tell us something about it?
A Revolution of Common Sense. I wrote it because Trump used that phrase in his inaugural address. I thought it was a sort of the perfect way to describe how he has branded his political movement. I met with the president in February. I pitched him on the book. He cooperated. I talked to him. I talked to the cabinet, talked to the White House staff. I picked out the issues from the first 100 days that were the biggest issues at the time and best exemplified his pursuit of more common sense policies in government. And so if you love Trump, you'll like it. And if you know somebody who hates Trump, get it for Christmas, wrap it up, put it under their tree. Either way.
Scott Jennings trolling
Either
people.
way.
I love it.
Either way. But it's the first time I've written a book. I'm grateful to the president
This is your
for
first book?
Yep.
And you're saying that you pitched Trump, hey, I want to write a book. Are you in?
Yeah. I went.
How was that process? What did you
Truthfully, I didn't know him. I went to the Oval Office in early February, and I said, I think 100 people of the usual suspects are going to come along and write books crapping on you, but somebody who likes you, appreciates you, and wants to give a fair review of what you're trying to do should get a shot. And he agreed.
What did he say?
Well, first of all,
can you do it in his accent too?
Yeah,
Scott Jennings, you're a great guy.
said you revolutionized campaigning, and now you're going to revolutionize governing. And I want to write a book about the first 100 days. This is about 10 days in. He goes, well, how do you know it's going to go well? And I said, I think it's going to go good. And it did go well. This is the most consequential active presidency since FDR.
Yes.
200 executive orders on day one. The pursuit of the big, beautiful bill, which was his whole domestic policy agenda. The cultural issues, the trans stuff, the DEI stuff, the foreign policy stuff. So he put a lot of balls in the air and a lot of went through the hoop. And I know he's always going to get crapped on by the usual Washington elites. But this is for the 60-70% of the country that wants more common sense.
By the way, that is a very good point. You ever seen these? What a weird angle I'm about to take with you guys. And it's going to be very funny. You ever see these prank companies where they send a package, comes to you, the
Yes,
2 tickets to the gay cruise you're going to, and friends are like,
what the hell is that?
You haven't seen this?
Oh, Adam,
have you seen this?
I went on the cruise. Is that a free cruise?
No, but what
let
me tell you,
after you, dude.
For us, we're part of that. Meaning like we like pulling pranks. I think it's a brilliant idea because it's comical. Friends are like, "What are you talking about?" Not that there's anything wrong with this. Some people go on the cruise and like Adam, they like it.
Yeah,
they don't
whatever,
but
free
what I'm
cruise,
saying is,
free cruise.
For some of you guys, honestly,
Protect my backside.
I would love to see the story of you ordering this book just for one person you know that's not a fan and just send it. Buy one for yourself, buy one for another person and ship them. Don't even put your name on it for it to come in and say, either the husband or wife's going to say, babe, why would you ever order this book? Who sent it to us? You ordered it. But it'll be a good story to tell. And last but not least, before we wrap up, we'll put the link below for this. Guys, we have a big problem at Valuetainment. Let me tell you what it is. We have 42 job openings right now.
Wow.
And we can't hire them fast enough. We are looking for high-quality people in the company. Rob, if you don't mind playing the clip, we have 42 different jobs. I'll show you which ones it is. From engineers to C-suite executive positions to folks on digital marketing agency on different kind of things. But here's a clip. Go ahead, Rob. Many times when people think about Valuetainment, all they think about is a podcast. But it's a lot more than that. It's 9 companies working together on an 11-acre campus. If I was to give you a virtual tour here, you'll see the HR department hiring, talent acquisition. We have full-stack developers that are working on Monect and Hire Metrics. We have a full-fledged events team that puts together events with thousands of people. Nice. We have a merch department designing the latest product. We just launched the FLB shoes, made in Italy. We have a marketing department. And if you go to the complete opposite side of the building, 50, 60 people making calls, working for Bed David Consulting, sales, setters. And then on the complete opposite side of the campus, there's a full-on production company with editors, shooters, creating content, doing podcasts. Then you can drive down a couple miles and go to our private boardroom cigar lounge with members only. Regardless of what it is, working at Valuetainment Every day is a surprise. You could be walking into work and right next to you is a governor, is a billionaire, is an athlete. We are hiring aggressively, but vitamin isn't for everybody. For the right person, this could be the last company you ever work for. So if you're watching this and you want to learn more, go to vt.com/careers and apply now. Folks, whether it's for you or anybody else you know, we are aggressively hiring in the great state of Florida and Fort Lauderdale, which in the future will be the Burbank of East Coast, because we've got a lot of big plans here. So if you want to be part of a great team, go to vt.com/careers, apply and look through a list of jobs and apply to it. Having said that, we are at the end of the podcast. Scott, you're the man for coming out. Appreciate you.
PBD.
We support you. We're big fans of yours. Keep at it. And some tells me one day we're going to see the man on the big stage.
Oh,
and who knows?
Can't wait.
Maybe we'll be voting for him. Who knows?
I know that guy.
I know that guy.
Buy his book, Common Sense, Revolution Common Sense.
Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.